Good morning, everyone. It's like that snow, man. It can make everything so serene. You know what I'm saying? Candy Lady, good morning, baby. If you guys haven't liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, make sure y'all hit that notification bell, man. It's still gorgeous out here, man. You know what I'm saying? If you guys don't know, if you don't follow the content, I'm up here in the New York City Metro, out here fighting for justice. A lot of people ask me why I'm in the car. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in the car because I am fighting for justice. You know, I got lawsuits out there circulating, percolating, and flowing. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what we're talking about this morning. However, you know, guys, I'll get down in the comments with y'all in just a few minutes. This morning, we're going to be handling some business, what I call the business of America. I think that war, well, it's not that I think that war in Ukraine is a pressing issue. It has been a pressing issue across the entire world. If you guys know Ghostwriter, I just told you guys that I'm a civil rights fighter, but it's deeper than that. I care about human rights. I care about the rights of all people. So in Ukraine, that war is at 4 years. It's going on 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Or it's almost at 4, or it's at 4, but it's going to be pushing to 5 years. In Ukraine, almost 2 million souls. That's off of almost 500,000 people die in a year in just this conflict. And President Trump has talked about it. And although he's talked about it, ain't much different or ain't much changed, man. The war is still being fought. So that's very, very, very important. What's actually going on in Ukraine, if you guys didn't know, is that ever since the end of World War II, the world had two powers, okay? You think about World War II, a lot of people don't know this. Like, just looking at the numbers today, it amazes me. Over 100 million plus people died during World War II. I'm talking about millions of Jews alone. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about it was catastrophic to humanity. And that's what population wasn't as much as it is. Weapons, what we're about to talk about right now, aren't as advanced as they are. So you saying that goes, the situation since World War II happened, the only two atomic weapons in world history were dropped. Like mankind, we don't want to go back to that. We're trying to protect and save humanity. So since then, there's been an order, or what we call a rules-based order. There's two powers in the world at this time. It's America and it's the USSR. Okay. Fast forward from the 40s to 50s, you have different skirmishes. You know, America, what we believe in is democracy, and what the USSR or Russia or China and Iran believed in was communism. So fast forward to about 1980, President Ronald Reagan, what he actually did, he convinced the Soviet Union to actually break apart and to embrace democracy. Can you believe that? So years of Cold War, America fighting proxy wars between themselves. But I'm saying, so we at the point to where we America's the lone superpower in the world. Just the United States. Got all the money, got nuclear weapons. Russia had nuclear weapons too after 80, still does. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying they were, quote unquote, 2002. It's a democracy, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? Or transforming or transitioning to them, definitely in the 90s. So pressing forward since 1980, America's been the solo or the unipower in the world. That's very important. You think about the rules that are made in your community and who enforces them. Your local police department, your local mayor, your local government. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about a state, you're thinking about a country, but in the world, what world government or what world police do we have? So you got to think of it like that. Don't think of it like some spooky thing. It's not a spooky thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fantasy story. or a conspiracy theory. It's real life. So there's no real order in the world. Well, America was the solo power in the world from the 80s. And the order, what we call the rules-based order is that you cannot invade a sovereign nation and redraw international border. There's so much stuff in the rules-based order. You see what I'm saying? Free market societies. Think about it. When America and Soviet Union were vying for who's going to control the world, America turned the majority of the world into democracies. Most of the world followed America, but some nations didn't. And those nations are, in particular, North Korea, what we know of course, Russia. Russia turned into a democracy, but, you know, it's a long story. We'll talk about a little bit more. Russia. And then you have Iran. Most of you guys hear these nations all the time. And then China. And out of those four nations, China really is the only country in those four that are peaceful for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So since the 80s, that's where we're going to pick up. I'm not going to bore you with a history lesson. I'm going to go ahead and get into the content in just a second. Since the 80s, okay, you have the United States as the only world power. Now, what happens beginning in 2002, I think that's when Vladimir Putin took over. Maybe he took over before then. But in 2002, what we have Vladimir Putin deciding that he doesn't want the United States, or why is it fair that the United States, or who said that the United States should be the only power in the world? Vladimir Putin pointed to some things that America did that he thought unstabilized the world order or unstabilized the world. And what he pointed to was America attacking Iraq at that time. He said, oh, the United States said Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. United States is for democracy and freedom. Well, the United States went in and attacked Iraq, and they didn't have weapons of mass destruction. The United States is unstabilizing the world. The United States is not obeying the rules-based order, the y'all NATO, Northern Atlantic Treaty Organization. United States ain't obeying that either. That's what his argument is, okay? So basically, Vladimir is setting up where he is today, where he wants to reunite the USSR. So what he's going to do is the prize of the nations that are no longer a part of Russia. If you guys don't, I tell it like people don't know it, for the people who don't know. So you have Russia, and you have a set of nations, smaller independent nations. A lot of them speak Russian, you know what I'm saying? You got Czech Republic. I think that's one of the most popular ones in Ukraine. So of all those nations, Ukraine is the prize. It's the biggest. It's a million reasons why I could say that. We'll get to it all if we can. Okay, so what Putin does is he says, okay, it's skirmishes, everything's happening before he invades Ukraine. But what he does, though, he says, okay, this is calculus, okay? He's like, now I'm finna go into Ukraine. Within 48 hours, he's going to pull what President Trump did on Maduro. It's really not funny because Putin he's a war criminal. He killed his own journalists. We could go into all that. So he's like, oh, I'm going to go into Ukraine and I'm going to snatch Maduro out the presidential mansion. And after I snatch Maduro, the whole government's going to fall into his hands. That's his plan. Okay. So 4 years later, 2 million lives later, imagine if President Trump said he gonna go snatch Maduro and then end up fighting a war for 5 years with Venezuela. I mean, at what point is it time to give up? President Trump, that should be his calculus. I wish I could speak directly to the White House this morning before I start this content. Because I believe with all that firepower he has off or near Iran, and him threatening Iran to make a deal because they cannot have a nuclear weapon, regardless of whether or not you are for and this is for my Democratic friends too. I want y'all to listen to me closely. Regardless of whether or not you are for America attacking Iran, who in this live stream right now wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon? Who do you think is a good idea for the world? Because I'm saying they get a nuclear weapon, and if they use that nuclear weapon, there's World War III. And I told y'all earlier about the world wars. So if there was 150 million died, or however many died in both world wars, we could look it up. But I'm saying the point is it might be a billion this time with as many people in the world. So who wants World War III? See what I'm saying? If one nation uses a nuclear weapon, I promise you that's going to supercharge the situation regionally, whatever nation, wherever it is. And I'm telling you, it's going to go all the way up. The whole world's going to be in the war. So who in this live chat, who in this live stream wants Iran? They don't think like some of us think. That's why God put some of us on this earth to protect the whole. So who in this live stream wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon? My question is, guys, who in this live stream thinks it's okay to kill tens of thousands of your citizens because they protest? I'm saying, guys, we got on President Trump and ICE so hard for the death of Renee Good, and we should. However, in the death of Renee Good, she was in a vehicle. And she didn't obey the commands of federal agents. So that doesn't justify her death by any means. But I'm saying it's not like in Iran where they're just going out there killing people indiscriminately just for protesting, hanging them just for protesting, saying they're committing crimes against God because they're protesting. Who's for that? I'm saying Alex Peretti, about a week or so before he died, he went and kicked off a federal agent's taillight. I'm saying, guys, that right there, if you did that in Iran, that might be punishable. That's probably punishable by death. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm saying, who's for that? So attacking Iran is something, or making sure that Iran is following along with the rules of the world, I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad idea. And I'm saying at this time, with that war Putin's fighting in Ukraine, I think President Trump shouldn't lose focus. I know they got all their attention on whether or not they're going to get that peace deal with Iran, but I'm saying he should not lose focus on what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. Guys, I'm going to start off like this. And I'm going to tell you that Ukraine has made huge gains against Russia. They're pushing back. My source is the Council on Foreign Relations, and it was published on February, the 24th. As of late February 2026, Ukrainian forces are engaged in limited, targeted counterattacks, achieving localized gains. And I'm just going to apologize now, trying to pronounce all these provinces, okay? So we got Zaporizhzhia, including liberating some settlements. While Russia maintains a large entrenched presence, Ukrainian forces have successfully held positions in Kobanetsk, and through new targeted operations have secured a net gain of roughly 165 square kilometers in specific southern sectors since the start of February 2026. So, guys, what's that saying is Ukraine is pushing back against Russia. And not only are they pushing back against Russia, they went in and they've taken back over 165 kilometers of land. That's a lot of land. What? That's unbelievable. Southern Front activity in early February 2026, Ukrainian forces launched counterattacks, liberating multiple settlements and areas. Institute the study of war reports. Look, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying President Trump, his whole, I think, philosophy. You know, a lot of people say he's authoritarian. A lot of people say he likes dictators. A lot of people, what I can say too, is that he has been way too nice to Vladimir Putin. And I think that's the problem is. I'm saying if, in my opinion, if President Trump was hard on Putin like he is on Maduro, I'm saying President Trump, in my opinion, he is giving Putin the respect of being a world power. That's the problem. I'm saying we recognize China is big. We recognize China's got they got a powerful military. We recognize all these things. But I'm saying President Trump, he gives Xi the respect, but Xi ain't acting like Putin. Their military, he's not being aggressive. He's not attacking his neighbor. He's not doing what Putin is doing. Quite contrary. Actually, Xi is more diplomatic speaking, more like a world leader and uniting the world than President Trump is. President Trump is looking more after America or out for America. But what I'm saying is he has been way too nice to Putin. And that is the thing that's going on right now. I promise y'all. That's what's going on. I'm saying if you putting that pressure on the Iranians and you have so many American Marines and you have the American Navy that build up in that presence off the coast of Iran, and you in a situation right now to where we might be about to attack Iran if we can't get this deal worked out. I'm saying if that was me and I was President Trump, or if I was advising President Trump, or if I was one of those generals, I would go to President Trump at this moment, even while he's focused on Iran. And I would say, hey, President Trump, you know that the Ukrainians just pushed the Russians back? You know, the Ukrainians just took back 100 miles of land back from the Russians. Guys, you got to understand what's going on. I'm talking about Vladimir Putin is getting troops and soldiers from all over the world. He's running ads. This is real stuff. Y'all could get on, y'all could Google this right now. Fact check me. Vladimir is running ads in Africa, telling them that there's work. You know, come on now, you know these communities. In some of these communities, people are poor. Telling them there's work in Russia. And you could earn, what, 2,000 rubles a month or whatever? A lot of money. $1,000 shoot. You're talking about for a week's worth of work. In a lot of these countries, $100, they rich. You see what I'm saying? So he telling you, he giving you $1,000 a month, which is a lot of money. You got to understand, you know, it's for them. If you come over to $1,000, if you come over there and fight this war, but he's not saying war. He's just advertising it like it's work. Oh yeah, you know how the little kidnapping groups, how they be snatching girls, or how Epstein used to snatch girls. You tell, oh yeah, you know, girl, she want to be a model. You just play on that. Oh yeah, well, you know, he got money, so he got photographers. He's gonna set it up like it's a fake model shoot, but really what he want to do is, that's what Putin's doing. He's enticing Africans, running ads with the promise that they could go to work, and then when they get to Russia, the work that he got for them is to fight that war. It's not just Africans, guys. He straight up hired Cuban. Putin, why are you going outside your own country to hire troops and soldiers? Y'all want to know why? Because that war is not popular in Russia. I'm trying to tell y'all, inside of Russia, Putin has to fight this war. He has to win this war. He's been in power longer than any other Russian dictator in history. So if you like ghosts and you're smart and you're a student of history, understanding that history repeats itself, you know that Putin's time is either up, or it's been up, or it's near up, or it's about to be up, or should have been up. Look at all the other powerful Russian leaders who had a lot more respect and power than him over history. They didn't last that long. So what I'm saying, he has to fight this war. Remember what I told you. Imagine if President Trump told us about Venezuela and then goes in there, instant operation, and now it's been 4 or 5 years. Not only that, you done killed over a million Russians, losing their lives. And we talking about primarily this young people. Do you want to sacrifice your son? Your son. Imagine if it was your son. Imagine if this was in America. I'm going to teach you. I'm an empathist. That's why I'm a good litigator. I think like how everybody else thinks. A lot of people don't do that. They selfish. They only think what they think. Imagine if this was your son that's going to fight this war. You want your son out there? He's shedding his soul. He got to go get other people's troops. You see what I'm saying? In the middle of that, my point is the calculus that President Trump is taking, he brought up a map. I've seen this before. He brought up a map. He said, look how big Russia is. Russia is a very, very big country in landmass. Very large. Very large. Is it the largest, y'all, or the second largest? Between Russia and China in land. I think Russia is the largest country in the world by length, if I'm not mistaken. That's without the USSR. Imagine they had Ukraine and all them other nations. I'm talking about you can't attack them. It's impossible. Many nations have tried, and no one has ever been successful in attacking Russia. You can't do it by land. It's an impossible feat. See what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like, President Trump pointing at Russia, biggest country in the world, and he pointed at Ukraine. You know, Putin, he old, tough, strong guy. And President Trump's calculus is Ukraine can't beat Russia. But I'm saying listen to me, President Trump, after 5 years, a 48-hour war, let me stop, 4 years, 4 years and counting, a 48-hour war, over 2 million souls have died. And I'm saying all he has been able to take is 20% of Ukraine, 20% of Ukraine, 20% of Ukraine. Bro, I'm talking about, come on, bro. I don't care what kind of gains he's making. Secretary Rubio, who in there got some sense? I don't care what kind of gains he's making. After 4 years and 2 million lives, you can only get 20%. So what? To get the next 20%, we got to do this for 4 to 5 more years. And you got to give up 2 million more lives. I mean, I'm a numbers guy, bro. If you could only push 20%, and I'm saying he been at that 20% line for over a year, easily. And I'm saying in February, after all this is why President Trump need to change his calculus. Because you looking at big old Russia and saying, look how big Russia is, and look how big Ukraine is. Ukraine this big and Russia this big. So he done made the calculus that I'm going to think that Russia get to, but I'm saying after 2 million lives, a 48-hour war, it's been going on 5 years. And I'm picking up a story today that's saying Ukraine is taking back some of that land that Russia got. And this is why Putin on wobbly knees, this war is unpopular in Russia. Listen, I seen a report where there's a richer or more affluent neighbor area in Russia where Putin is about to have to start drafting kids from. These are the rich people in Russia, the oligarchs. I'm saying if they unite together, how they do it in Russia, Putin is he's on shaky or wobbly ground, so he don't want to mess with the rich kids. You know, we're not gonna make Elon's son go out there and fight in the war. We're not gonna make none of the Trumps go fight in the war. Nah, Jeff Bezos' children, they ain't going. We gonna take the poor kids, but we done killed all them or most of them, or we killing them. So we going to Africa. The Africans telling Putin, don't come back to our country. Because them Africans are going over there and they dying quick. And their parents back at home, they don't like that. So I'm saying President Trump, this that Putin juice, y'all. Y'all want to get some Putin juice this morning? Y'all, let's drink some Putin juice. Let's cheers to you, President Trump, and drink some Putin juice. Because I'm saying President Trump, my boy, you got to be sipping on that juice. How you get respect President Trump is not by picking on Venezuela and Maduro. Even though China might not have been able to do it as good as America, Even though Russia can't do it as good as America, even though almost any country in the world, their special forces could not have snatched Maduro like America did with such precision. I'm saying you still can't, you get respect for being more advanced than everybody else. You don't get respect for picking on a little dude, man. Come on. That's bully activities. Cuba, Iran, and I know America, President Trump, he's not looking at it as bully. He's just trying to fix these situations. But I'm saying with Putin, that's the whole problem with Putin. Vladimir is the biggest problem in the world. I think if the world after World War II went to bipolar or bipower, to where America was a superpower and then China became a superpower. I don't think we say that China's our biggest op. We talk about China taking Taiwan. We talk about all of that stuff, but man, I don't think it's really that big of a deal with China as much it is with Russia and Putin. But for some reason, why we think that China is a bigger threat to us than Russia, I just disagree. At least with Putin, are probably going to be anybody at the helm in Russia. Russia is a more militaristic country. Russia has been in and out of fighting wars like America has pretty much for the last 100 years. Russia's probably the second most experienced military since the 40s. You know, America's number one. America's always in America's military. We have spent the money on the hardware. And we pay our troops the most in the world. They're the best trained in the world. We do that so we can maintain and protect American interests across the world, protect the interests of the free world. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying, yeah, I think I would trust Xi and China more than I would Vladimir. Because Vladimir has ambitions, and his ambitions are against everything American, everything the world order. Vladimir just went in there. He took Crimea. He said, I don't care nothing about no international based order. Crimea, part of Russia. Give me that. So after he was that successful, America, nobody didn't stop him. They said, you're a god weak. I'm saying Vladimir said, okay, then you know what I'm finna do now? I'm finna go in there and I'm finna just take Ukraine. Give me, it's hard to take. This is what I'm saying. At this point, President Trump, you got a chessboard. I'm saying you want to be great. This is how you be great, President Trump. You pick up the phone, you call Starmar, and you say, hey, give me one of them Air Force carriers. Bring one of them Air Force carriers out here. President Trump, I got you. Running myself like a quarterback option. You feel me? Where Big P headset at? Let me put my glasses on so I can act like I know what I'm talking about right now. You feel what I'm saying? You say, this your plan. You pick up the phone, you call the United Kingdom, you say, hey, Starmark, give me one of them Air Force carriers out here. I know you do it. You have to go through NATO, however you do it. Give me one of the Air Force. Don't try to be a big bad bully. You playing chess. You're not playing checkers. You're trying to solve a problem. Y'all remember now, Ghost said before, when President Trump, I'm not picking on you. I'm just making a point. Your strikes, Midnight Hammer or whatever, in Iran, I'm saying from a standpoint of those Air Force pilots, they completed the mission successfully. I'll give you that. But the strategy, the overall strategy was wrong, President Trump. And if you go to my Instagram and my YouTube, I posted about that. His strategy was wrong with Iran. The first time. They got centrifuges, okay? The centrifuges is where the uranium is. So they could just take the centrifuges. And guess what? They still got the enriched uranium. But so when the intel comes in, the Mossad, the CIA, they go to President Trump, they go to Bibi, they say, hey, listen, there's three main sites. They know the optics. They got centrifuges. In the centrifuges, they got uranium, okay? So President Trump and Bibi, they at the chessboard. And what they come up with? we're going to drop these bunker buster bombs on Iran and we're going to bomb them. I'm saying you make a big boom, you make a big scene, it looks so pretty. You come out there and say that it's a total obliteration. And I'm saying CNN, Kaylin Collins, all of them, they're questioning you on it. I remember this clearly. They're questioning you on it because you're saying a total obliteration. And I'm talking about just from CNN, they had posted pictures of where the centrifuges was. The Iranians, within 24 hours, guys, there was lines of trucks where they just took the centrifuges, they put them in the trucks, and they took the uranium and they took off. Ain't no telling where they went. The supreme leader, he went to Russia or China. They weren't even in the country. So when President Trump went and dropped the bombs, all he did is destroy the sites. What's that mean? Well, so we destroyed the sites. Okay, so you destroyed the sites, but we still have the stuff to make the weapons. We got oil, a lot of it. Just like we sell the oil for the missiles, we're going to sell the oils and we're going to rebuild our buildings because that's number one for us. We don't care if all our people starve. We care about getting this nuclear weapon so we could be like North Korea. Does America really fool or pick on North Korea no more? No, because Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man, he got a trigger. He can finger on the trigger. So Iran want to have a finger on the trigger too. So they'll be like America. They ain't going to be over here on our back, breathing down our neck, telling us we can't have a nuclear weapon. So I'm saying what my plan was, which you guys could go back and see the content. President Trump, didn't the Israelis just run a mission that BB is bragging and always telling people about a beeper mission? Do y'all remember the beeper thing? How the beepers, it was time choreographed, they exploded, and we all laughing at across the Muslim world how BB just outsmarting them. I'm saying use that same energy. Israel just had 35, 36 victories in a row. They kicking everybody's teeth in. They kicking the Iranians' teeth in. Hezbollah got everybody on the run. Okay, Hamas. So I'm saying use that same energy. Send the Mossad in there and get them centrifuges, bro. I'm saying if you need to help Israel, if you need to, some special forces, 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, whatever y'all, but I think the Israeli special forces, they probably more experienced than America. Because I'm saying they combat ready daily. I'm talking about they all constantly fight. Surveillance, they got their enemies staying. Israel got their enemies staying amongst them. You got to understand that. Them boys, they got their special forces solidly trained. So send the Israeli special forces in there to destroy the centrifuges. Oh, Ghost, that's going to be bloody. That might do this. That's how you get rid of the problem, though. That's how you get rid of the problem. Because I'm saying you dropping them bombs, that's just window dressing. And I'm saying coming out and telling the American people that, obliterated, we're not going to do it. Bro, it ain't been 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. You right back in the same spot you was in before. And now, if you go to war with Iran now, if you go to war with them now, you know what's going to happen? Those America First and MAGA people, you're going to start losing. It's going to cost you politically. You have a general, it was rumored to have warned him against going to war with Iran. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're facing now. But he can't let them have a nuclear weapon. What do? If you solve the problem the first time, the right way, you won't be here this time. That's what Ghosts believe in. But hey, President Trump, he gonna do what he do. So, I mean, the only advice I could give you now is just don't stay in a prolonged conflict with Iran because that's going to destroy you politically. Nick Fuentes and them, people who were staunch allies of his, helped the Republicans greatly win elections. Have millions of viewers. You got people who, you got Alex Jones coming out against them. Candace said she don't rock with no party no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, bro, like, as far as Henry, Charlie Kirk is dead, guys. Turning Point USA ain't what it was. We know that. That's one thing for certain and 15 things for sure. So I'm saying the coalition that was there to create or help MAGA or create or help President Trump is gone. President Trump, the band is breaking up. Look at it, it's an increasing number of Congress people and senators who come out and speak against him. I'm talking about Republicans. You know what I'm saying? So him staying in Iran for any length of time will not help him politically whatsoever. Whatsoever. My whole point is though, why, like, the people are going to get sick and tired of these skirmishes. How many people who voted for President Trump, you don't like the idea or the sound of him saying that he's gonna in Cuba or he's gonna in Iran? But I'm saying almost the entire time that President Trump has been president, he's been having these skirmishes, dealing with these skirmishes. I don't think that's what his voters imagine. Y'all tell me, y'all think President Trump's voters imagine that? So I'm saying, like, if I was him, I'm saying he could get, if first of all, I'm going to say this. Let's get back to the story, to the news. We're going to get to the killer drones in just a second, but it's two different stories. Let's get back to gains Ukraine has made. If I was him, you already got the hardware. You're already kind of in the region, in the Middle East, okay, with Iran, who is a strong ally of Putin. These things are interconnected. The oil, I don't want to get into all of that. So I'm saying you deal with Iran, you could deal with Putin too at the same time. So I'm saying the military would know this, President Trump know this. I don't have to sit here and break it down we're not doing a live stream on that. You deal with Iran, you could deal with Putin at the same time. And strategically, you could, by hitting Iran, you could hit Putin. If you know, you know. So here's my point. While you over there and you're doing the negotiations with Iran over the nuclear deal or whatever, hopefully they could come up with some kind of agreement. I doubt it though, because I don't think they're going to bend their foe too far. What I'm saying is, in Ukraine that the Ukrainians have made gains. So I'm saying what I'm doing, Starmer, Macron in France, all in Germany, all of the Europeans who have an interest in Ukraine, they have an interest as well in Iran not getting a nuclear weapon as well. The Israelis, I'm calling them all. I'm telling Starmer, I need an aircraft carrier. Macron, do y'all have? I need some. Because what I want to do is, if I was President Trump, not only am I strengthening Iran, what I'm saying is I want to strengthen Ukraine's position. I believe, President Trump, it is my belief that America wins, the world wins, if Ukraine wins that conflict. The way that you stop the lives that are dying is by showing Putin that he cannot win. Putin still think he could win. That's the problem. He don't care. You say, oh, Ghost, say I'm over there, I'm with Vladimir right now. That's how he be walking, y'all. It's so funny. Like The Dictator, the movie The Dictator, those guys are so character. They in costume. You know what I'm saying? So you go to Vladimir, I gotta advise Vladimir. I say, hey, Vladimir, listen. You lost so many lives. You're struggling to put the troops or surge the troops. He trying to do a surge. He's just going to do a surge for all those people he surged to die. And I'm going to tell you why, how they're going to, it's not funny, but why he's just sending them. You think about Ukraine and you think about how small Ukraine is compared to Russia. I told you that. And Russia has more money, more resources, more everything. So why can't they win? And we're going to talk about why. It's a modern war being fought. Those killer drones, keep that in your mind. But what I'm saying is, I got a donation. I love your gay channel, Poppy. Much love. Somebody said it's gay. I think it over in the United Kingdom, gay means happy. So I appreciate the donation. Thank you. If you guys want to donate to the channel, hit the button with the $ in it. Your donations are much appreciated. Make sure you guys have double tapped the screen, like the video, subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Guys, listen. So this is what I'm saying. So I'm saying with President Trump's calculus that Russia is bigger than Ukraine, if I'm advising Putin, I'm telling Putin, listen at this. You're supposed to take them in 48 hours. You hadn't did that yet. Look, Putin, I understand you got pressures in your country and you looking like a clown out here shedding lives. Because regardless of how you feel, you could take the poor people's children's lives, but everybody here, they crying. You start messing with them rich people kids' lives, you might end up getting a bullet. Got another donation. We'll talk about that in a second. Let me finish this content. Thank you for the donation. You take them rich people's lives, you might get a bullet. You see what I'm saying? So listen, Putin, this is what I'm saying. If you only got 20% of the land in 4 years, you might only, because they're going to defend Kyiv with everything, so he got to get the land around Kyiv. So you might only get 40% of the land. It might take you 10 years, and it might take you 10 million lives. Are you willing to do that, Putin? He might say, yes, I'm willing to do that. See, what I'm saying is, President Trump, this is a moment to tell that man, to show that man that he cannot win this war. President Trump, with Iran, if you do strike Iran, and I hate to say this, guys, President Trump, y'all got to control that oil because you got to stay focused. And I know somehow, some way you guys are. You got to stay focused on stopping that war in Ukraine. That's your Nobel Peace Prize. Because I know it's way bigger than that. I should have said a lot more things first, but that's the way that his advisors could get to him, because that's the things he cared about. That's your Nobel Peace Prize. That's how you become a hero, President Trump. President Trump, you stop that war in Ukraine. It's not just about stopping the war in Ukraine. Because if you give Russia half the country and you just, he just pandered to Russia or Putin to try to stop the war, President Trump, that's going to be a bad look for you. It's going to make you look weak or soft. I'm talking about Zelensky and Ukraine winning. Zelensky and Ukraine win. I guarantee you, President Clinton, Epstein testifying or not, President Clinton going to come out and publicly, the Clinton Foundation, they going to congratulate you. President Trump, you stop that war, Ukraine winning, Obama and them going to come out and congratulate you. Biden and them going to come out and congratulate you. Kamala and them going to come out and congratulate you. President Trump, you want Democrats to stand and clap for you, huh? Y'all seen the State of the Union? That's what he want. He complaining because they ain't standing and clapping for him. President Trump, you want the Dems to stand and clap for you? I'm telling you, this is how you get them to stand and clap for you. In that war in Ukraine and Russia with Putin, with Ukraine winning. That's how you get them to stand and clap for you. And I'm telling you, and we've told you the whole time, the only way you going to end that war is by showing Putin that he can't win it. Because I'm saying any reasonable person sitting in Putin's spot right now could look at that chessboard and say, hey, it's going to cost me way too much if I could win it. I'm not sure if I can win it, but if I could win it, it's not worth trying to fight it over a strip of land and to prove a point, but Putin's not going to back down. It's all or nothing for him. He look at how big Russia is. Oh, well, we're going to have to sacrifice half for the country. It's all or nothing for him. He on a suicide mission. He a kamikaze dictator. That's what you got to look at Putin as. So I'm saying President Trump, some of y'all, his advisors, you got to get him to see this to the point to where President Trump, you got to present it in a way that Putin cannot win. Putin's got to be able to see it. I'm talking about if you got sanctions on them right now, turn them up. Turn up the sanctions. Turn up the heat. Give more weapons to NATO. I'm saying if the Europeans have been buying weapons from the Americans and in turn giving it to the Ukrainians. And I'm saying the Ukrainians, they're doing this, and it looked like President Trump, I mean, at least publicly, he ain't even supporting them as much as President Biden was. But the Europeans haven't backed down, and they're still supporting them. And if I could talk to Starmar, I would say, yeah, y'all need to send aircraft carriers if President Trump welcome y'all to Iran. If the United Kingdom and Europe, if President Trump, these are his words, guys, I'm looking at the whole chessboard according to his strategy. If his strategy is to make Europe stronger so these things don't be happening and America don't have to run in and come rescue him, if that's his strategy, what I'm trying to say is, this is your opportunity. Let the English come out here. Let the United Kingdom come out here and show their strength. Let the French, the German, let Europe come show their strength. You know what I'm saying? They doing it in Ukraine. Step it up. This is an opportunity, guys. But guys, I'm gonna transition to the second part of the live stream, and we're gonna talk about the killer drones. Sound like some science fiction Terminator stuff, right? This story comes from the New York Times. All you got to do is put killer drones in Ukraine in your search bar. Hold on a second. I'll do it for you. Give me just a second, guys. I'll do it for you. I'll give you guys the link. Killer drones, Ukraine. I did the search for you. I'm finna give you the link. I don't know what kind of phone you guys go, but you just click on AI mode. AI mode is going to give you all the sources. So I'm posting a link in the chat right now. Or I'm trying to post a link in the chat right now. I'm having some difficulties. Guys, it's not letting me do it. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Killer drones, guys. Just a quick Google search, okay? And let's talk about it. What's going on? You think about why Russia is this big and Ukraine is this big. And you think of Russia as being a great military power to be feared, but you're wondering, why cannot Russia take Ukraine? What's going on? Why is Putin sacrificing so many lives? The part of the story, AI overview, New York Times, in Ukraine, killer drones. Listen to me, drones. Can you imagine a drone flying over your head that's hunting a human? A drone that's looking for you, killing you. Terrifying, right? Killer drones have evolved from simple hobbyist quadcopters into a sophisticated arsenal of autonomous and semi-autonomous weapons that dominate every aspect of the battlefield. So this is what you got to understand what's going on. Who want to go fight this war? Who want to go help Putin? You know what the Ukrainians doing? It don't matter how many people they got. Putin is missing something. The war of the future is not being fought and waged in the future. The war of the future is being fought and waged in Ukraine. You can have 1,000,000 soldiers, and I can have 1,000. It doesn't matter. You got listen. If I'm in Kyiv, and I got 1,000 people, but I got 5 million autonomous drones. Y'all know the cars that ride around with no one in them? They just drive themselves. What they call Wade something? You know what I'm saying? I heard they all over Austin. I heard they introducing them into new cities. Y'all got them in y'all cities? I know they in San Francisco. Like taxis. They driving around. They got drones flying in the sky that's hunting humans. Autonomous. They don't have no pilot, no flyer, nobody back in Kyiv got to fly it. It's just programmed. And it's looking for Russian soldiers or whoever. And they hunting killer drones. It's a different battlefield. The war of the future is here now, bro. They finna start fighting wars with robots. So I'm saying Putin got drones too. But the drones in this situation, they favor a defensive. They favor it defensively. Ukrainians getting killed by drones too. But I'm saying that's why Putin's gonna lose so many more men. It don't matter how many tanks you got. Those drones could destroy tanks too. They got swarms of them. I'm finna talk about them. Swarms of killer drones. So if you're a Russian soldier, I'm going to play a video for you in just a second, or Ukrainian, whoever you are. Imagine you got to go 2 miles down the street. It ain't funny at all. Imagine you fighting a war. You got to go 2 miles down the street. 2 miles down the street. And as soon as you leave your barracks, you know there's drones. So a lot of times you can't see or hear these drones. Bro, I heard, maybe it's in the story, bro, it's drones. They at nighttime, they hovering over people. They following people around. They hunting and watching you. Killing people. Oh, man, don't have to go 2 miles down the road at nighttime. Because I'm saying as soon as you leave that building, it's drones in the sky that's shooting. I mean, imagine the days when we used to fight a war where America's spending all these money on F-18s and all these big, beautiful bombers. I'm saying they taking $200, $300, $400 drones and they turn it, mass producing them into killing robots, killing machines. They flying by themselves. They hunting by themselves. You get that? President Trump, can you explain that to Putin so he can understand that? It don't matter how many numbers you got, as long as they got the drones in the sky. All the Europeans got to do really is supply them the drones, and they could supply. The Europeans really could help. Man, I'm telling y'all something I really shouldn't be telling y'all. The Europeans could help the Ukrainians win this entire war by supplying them drones and helping them to fly the drones. That's really what the Ukrainians need the manpower for. Yeah, I don't care what you say. Listen, so you talking about on the ground. Let's get. I'm not no general. I'm not no expert in battlefield. Okay, I understand numbers. So let's get on the ground. So I'm not saying the Ukrainians don't need a military. I don't say, but I'm saying they got half the troops that the Russians have. Listen, okay, so you got to maintain the order on the ground, dude. A drone can't keep order on the ground. Do you understand that? You making me digress. I wasn't trying to digress. A drone cannot keep order on the ground. You need troops. You need manpower for that. We don't have humanoids yet to substitute the human element, or even when you got robots, you'll need a human element there. But I'm saying, besides all of that, y'all making me get too deep. I wasn't trying to do that. What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about the Ukrainians maintaining. I just told y'all we just did a story where they went and took hundreds of miles of lands from Russia. How you think they did that? You think they did it with drones? No, they did it with men who got weapons. You see what I'm saying? They did it with troops. They did it with tanks. They did it like conventional warfare. I'm not talking about the conventional warfare part. I'm talking about how Ukraine can have a fraction of the troops. Leave the people on the ground, the troops they have on the ground entrenched against Russia. I'm not talking about that at all. Yes, since y'all needed to be mentioned, Ukraine has a large number of land troops that are displaying a front wall against the Russian front. I'm not talking about that. Y'all heard what I said. I'm talking about Putin, who recruiting soldiers, why are so many Russians dying, and Russia's this big and Ukraine is this big, and Russia can't take Ukraine. That's what I'm talking about. Because the numbers really, I mean, you have to have enough to be able to carry out the operation. But I'm saying to match them man for man, you don't have to match them man for man. I think they could outnumber you probably 4-1. They outnumber you 4-1. It's not like they got 4 people and you got 1 people. Ukraine got what, about 500,000? Let's look at how many troops the Ukrainians have that are fighting or that are in action or that are battle ready. When I say battle ready, they could be reservists too, that they could just be called up to go fight. How many troops do Ukrainians have? Let's look and see. How many troops? I keep asking AI. AI says 900,000. Hold up. As of early 2026, the armed forces of Ukraine maintain a total strength estimated at approximately 2.2 million personnel. Active, they got 900,000 soldiers, and frontline, they got 300,000 troops on a 620-mile-long front line at any time. So 300,000 troops, I'm not talking about that. Yeah, you need those 300,000 troops still. But this is what I'm talking about. Let's look at the Russian military. That's what I'm talking about. How many troops does Russia have? Because I'm saying Russia done already lost the whole military, over 1 million troops. So Russia has 1.32 million to 1.5 million. But what Putin said, he wants to ramp those numbers up. He's calling it a surge to 2 million. So approximately, ground forces, Russia has 500,000 to 550,000 troops on the ground. So Russia is almost outnumbering Ukraine 2-1 on the battlefield. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? I'm not saying, when I said that to help Ukraine win, because Ukraine they have a shortage of troops as well, or finding new troops because a lot of them are dying as well. So I'm saying Ukraine is saying, what I'm saying, if Europe want to help them win, what's holding Ukraine steady, in my opinion, and keeping them in this war is these drones. Every time, listen, your troops wake up in the morning and they brushing their teeth, you know what I'm saying? They get, and I'm saying, y'all know how them tents are as they walking amongst in between the tents. I'm watching everything they do. I got drones right outside the tent. I'm sure, you know, they got radar, like ground radar. They trying to find the drone. But I'm saying how a drone work, it could just pop up. You could pop it on them. It could be on the ground in the air in 3 seconds above their head. It's not like a plane where a plane is going to take you. You see what I'm saying? It's easier to see a plane on the radar. That's why they had to make them stealth. I'm saying it's different with drones. You could use tactics with drones. Drones are a lot more personal than an airplane is. So I'm saying, imagine you done brush your teeth, y'all all goofing around, and I'm saying they got drones hunting you. And as soon as you take a step off that base, or sometimes while you on that base, them drones just come out and start opening fire. You know they little, and they in the air. So I'm saying you got to locate these drones and shoot them down. Let's keep on with the story, guys. Killer drones on the battlefield in Ukraine. I know some small-minded people, it's hard for you to imagine, but I'm going to show you. So I'm going to give you some more about it. You know what I'm saying? Killer drones. Autonomous and semi-autonomous weapons that dominate. Unless you know what's going on in Ukraine better than the New York Times. The New York Times is saying that these weapons dominate every aspect of the battlefield. Oh, you mean what about when the tanks fight? Them drones, they could destroy tanks. What about I know that drone ain't finna mess with F-35. How much an F-35 cost? You talking about a little $400 plastic? Them drones, they could destroy F-35s while they sitting on the ground. It's tactics. dominate every aspect of the battlefield. These systems are now estimated. And I had read this. Thank you for that donation, baby. These systems are now estimated 70 to 90% of the casualties on the front line. Who laughing at me now? Go talk to the New York Times. That's what the New York Times said. That's what Ghost was trying to say. 70 to 90% of the deaths on the front line isn't coming from a troop's gun. Isn't coming from a Russian's gun. Isn't coming from a Ukrainian's gun. You see what I'm saying? This is for the dodo bird in the back. Since I couldn't share you the app, you could read it for yourself. This the New York Times saying this. This the New York Times. Read that. 70 to 90%. 70 to 90%. It's up here. That's the New York Times saying that. I'm saying you laughing at me like I'm not in Russia or Ukraine. I don't know none of this. The New York Times is saying this. That 7 to 9 people that's killed is killed by a drone on the front line. 7 to 9 people. It's killed by a drone. So that's why Russia can't go nowhere. They've been at 20% of the land. Ukraine take back a few hundred miles, and Russia gonna amped up and lose 50 to 100,000 people to take back the same land that they just lost. If they push forward Ukraine gonna go mount up an operation and take them back. And I'm saying Ukraine got roughly 300,000 on the front lines. Russia got about 550,000. So Russia almost got 2 men for their one. But it don't matter. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because according to the New York Times, drones, it's the drone. 7 to 9 people is killing. AI-powered autonomous drones. A new generation of drones is utilizing artificial intelligence to overcome electronic jamming. So they be trying to jam the drones electronically. Thank you for all the donations, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay? Let's see. Terminal guidance modules like Underdog by Norda Dynamics and the TFL by the Fourth Law allow pilots to lock on to a target. Once locked, the drone uses computer vision to complete the strike autonomous, even if the radio link is severed. So they have a pilot, the semi-autonomous one's a pilot. They'll see, okay, there's 5 Russian troops and they're walking to, and so once that pilot lock on, I'm saying it don't matter what happened after that. You're going to have to shoot it down because that drone going to kill them 5. They don't need the pilot no more. That's what this is saying. Visual navigation. Companies like Vermeer and Artreon have developed systems that compare live camera feeds to 3D maps, allowing deep strike drones to navigate without GPS. Some drones, they've been making drones that don't need GPS. I'm saying this is the war of the future. It's being fought right now. Whether you want to believe it or not, we don't care what you believe. We telling you what's going on. Some Terminator stuff. Drones flying over people's head, hunting people. I'm not over there. The New York Times is saying this. So if you want to, you go talk to the New York Times about these drone swarms. Imagine a swarm of them, not just one hunting you. You got a swarm of them hunting you now. New software like Pisca by Sin Engineering allows a single operator, one man, to manage dozens of drones simultaneously for mass attacks. I'm talking about they using the drone, say we want to go get the whole battalion, try to wipe them out. So you got one man and he using a dozen drones, dozens. So what if you have 5 operators? I'm saying, what's the difference in the drone? See, y'all not as smart as Ghost. What's the difference between a drone and a soldier, a troop? I'm saying a regular troop that Russians sending out there, they just drafting and grabbing people from anywhere. They give them about a few weeks of training and just throw them out there to the battlefield. I'm saying, what's the difference in one of those kind of troops and a drone? Because I'm saying that drone don't have to be on the ground. You do. You got to walk with two legs. That drone got us armed just like you are armed. You could arm that drone better than a man. I'm saying that drone, it could use that you could put that drone at a certain distance where the radar can't see it and you can't hear it. They can fly them drones high, real high. And that thing would just drop on you. I'm saying, what's the difference between a drone and a man? If you had to fight a fight and you had to choose between a human, and I get to choose a drone, because y'all don't know about these drones, what they doing to these drones, the technology they putting in these drones. They are testing literally and trying the war of the future out there in Ukraine. They testing and trying it out. Some people say, conspiracy theories say that's why Joe Biden and them, they wouldn't try. They wanted that war so they could test and try out this new AI technology, these robots. So according to the New York Times, between 7 and 9 men that are killed on the front line are killed by a drone. So if you laughing and you believe in old time conventional warfare, that's not where the military is, because they understand the future. You believe in your old time warfare, Mr. Putin, and you keep sending these people at us. And I'm going to go get me more and more drones. And as you come, I'm going to put them drones in the sky. Listen, Zelensky could get more drones than Putin could get humans. Do you hear that? I'm a numbers guy. I'm a civil rights. Whatever I am, I'm going to stay true to it on everything in my life. You guys know I'm a numbers person. So Zelensky, listen to this now. It's profound now. I'm going to cook it up now. So Putin thinking, hey, I got numbers on Zelensky. I got 2-1. I'm outnumbering him 2-1. I could send 2 people to his 1. I'm outnumbering him. I'm going to overpower him. But what Putin don't realize is Zelensky could get more drones than you can people. If Putin got 550,000 soldiers, how many drones you think Zelensky? Because they're so cheap. It's like they're like, some of them like one-time use. They ain't expecting, you know what I'm saying? Like it's $300-$400. It ain't like you losing a $250 million, $38 million piece of equipment. $200-$300, mass producing. And I'm saying you keep coming with troops, and I'm going to keep coming with drones. Yeah, I'm going to hold my front line. Yeah, it's been 2 million people died. So, yeah, about 500,000 people down the year. So, yeah, you got humans, frontline casualties. But I'm saying the most of the people that are dying are coming from Russia. And I'm saying if he's sacrificing all that life and he's not making no real gains, Foreign Council on Foreign Relations report in February that he actually losing ground. He losing. I'm saying what's going on with Ukraine? It's them drones. Them drones doing most of the killing. So you might have more troops than me. Yeah, I got half the troops you got, but I got as many drones for humans you have. And the drones, all you got to do is just keep giving me the drones. All he need to do, keep giving me the drones. Specialized strike platforms. They got first-person view kamikazes. It's a $300-$400 piece of equipment, this little drone. So this is what we going to do with these little drones. I'm telling y'all, I'm trying to give it to y'all. Small, agile quadcopters. Quadcopters mean they got 4 rotators. Y'all know the drones with the four little quadcopters, small and agile, carrying 1 to 2 kilograms of explosives, are used for precision strikes against infantry and vehicles. They put explosives on this little drone, and didn't I just say it? They intentionally trying to destroy it. They ain't trying to get this thing back. I don't care nothing about it. You can shoot it down. We just keep on producing them, keep on sending them. I'm saying, listen, Putin fighting a war where to advance, he needs men. He needs men. But I'm saying what the way Zelensky is looking at is hey, I need drones. I need men too, but I need drones, more drones than men, really. because I'm going to kill a lot of them with these drones. I'm going to lose a lot of them, but I'm going to kill most of them. So I'm saying, he's saying he needs drones. I'm saying, who going to lose? Because if a human die, that's pain, that's cost. You keep losing human lives. That's what I'm saying. He ain't trying to go get the affluent kids because he know he got to pay a political cost. The poor people in Russia can't really make, poor people anywhere, they can't. But the rich people, that's where the power is. That's where he going to get his political cost. He's smart. But I'm saying with Zelensky on his side, I could lose as many drones as I want to. Ain't nobody going to cry, shed no tears. We don't care. We just sacrifice the drones. So we sacrificing machines and Putin sacrificing life. And that's the difference. That's why he losing. He's sacrificing lives. And Zelensky, yeah, they losing lives too. Let's look at it before we finish with our drone story. And I'm going to play y'all some sound, some audio to help y'all to see that. Who is that? Is that Texas 2? What's up, baby? Y'all make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Let's look and see. How many Russians have died in Ukraine? Once again, we doing AI, guys. How many Russians have died in Ukraine? Precise numbers for Russian military fatalities in Ukraine are difficult to verify because both sides have a casualty data as a state secret, okay? Verbal deaths, independent outlets, Media Zone, and BBC News, Russians have documented the names of over 200,000 soldiers. Estimated total fatalities, estimate the death toll is between 275 to 325,000. Early 2026, some higher ending models suggest fatalities could reach as high as 443,000. Total casualties, the Center for Strategic and International Studies, Western sources estimated total Russian casualties have surpassed 1.2 million. The Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, and other Western sources estimated total Russian casualties have surpassed 1.2 million. Daily loss rates during intense periods of the war of attrition, Russia has reportedly lost an average of 1,000 to 1,500 soldiers per day. In context, post-World War II, Russian fatalities in Ukraine are now 17 more times than Soviet losses during the 10-year war in Afghanistan, and over 5 times greater than all of the Russian-Soviet wars combined since 1945. Russia's paying a huge price. Let's look at Ukraine. How many Ukrainians have died? It's all about numbers. That's how I'm able to know this. I know, remember, I started out by saying President Trump said Russia's this big and Ukraine is this big. If Russia is this big, then they got to have more people than a country this big, you would think, right? That's correct. That's just simple common sense. So they have more soldiers to lose than little bitty guy. So you would think that's why President Trump, when he first came in there, he said, look at Russia and look at Ukraine. You would think big is going to eat little, but why isn't big eating little? It's because of the robots, the drones. The drones are killing people. On the front lines, the majority, the drones, we got drones. We're going to keep sending drones. That's what I'm saying. So I want to look at how many Ukrainian soldiers have died, okay? Golly, how many have. Guys, I want to say this. Ooh. They said over 5.3 million Ukrainians are displaced. They got to leave their land because it's wars going on. Ukrainian, that's a human rights nightmare, bro. Died in war. I want to stay focused on what we're looking for. So we looked at 1.2 million Russians have died, estimated. Okay. Now, the same source, Center for Strategic and International Studies, estimate Ukrainian casualties at 500 to 600,000. So the Russians have 2 times the troops that Ukraine have, and the Russians are losing twice as numbered the troops as the Ukrainians. When a human dies, that's pain in that country. I always talk about the unintended effects. You're talking about 1.2 million Russians have lost their lives, primarily between 18 and 30 years old. Those are the majority of their youth. They're killing their youth in this war. Putin don't even realize it. He don't care. It's his pride and his ego. So what I'm saying is you looking at young people dying. Their parents probably still alive. They got siblings. They got family members. They're hurting. That's pain. You lose 1 million people. That's 1 million families. That's affecting millions across Russia. This war is loss of life. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying, but Zelensky, they defending their home. That's a different way to look at it. Ukrainians having to leave their home. So they understand why Zelensky is fighting, trying to keep Russia out. But I'm saying he's sacrificing drones. He's sacrificing equipment. And in my opinion, that is a huge difference between human lives. And in my opinion, that is why Vladimir is having such a difficult time in his endeavor to attempt to take over Ukraine. Killer drones, guys. If y'all haven't liked the video, y'all double tap the screen for me, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell, man. I think it's very important while President Trump focuses on Iran that he does not lose sight on what's going on in Russia. If Ukraine is making gains, President Trump, I'm saying, when are you going to stand up against Putin? This is the time. This is the time. I'm saying, President Trump, if you hadn't been able to look or read or see the chessboard, it's been 4 years. And they still losing ground. 4 years and they losing ground. They ain't gaining nothing. 4 years they losing ground. So President Trump this big and this big, it's not adding up. It's not adding up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show y'all why it's not. I want to get a shorter video. That one's 21 minutes. This 29 minutes. While Ukraine's daily drone operation runs like McDonald's. This according to the Wall Street Journal. Y'all think it's a game. I'm saying, I know most of the people, when you if this stream was a bunch of young people, 20-year-olds, tech guy, they'd be like, oh, wow, oh my goodness. I understand, I could read the room in the crowd, because that crowd, they understand technology. They know stuff that they teach me. When they tell me what these robots and what these humanoids and what these drones are capable of, I think they lying. I'm just like the old people. I got to see it. When I talk to people 60-year-olds and older, they think still that we talking about Terminator. They think we talking about Terminator. You talking about killer drones. They're like, oh my goodness, this guy is crazy. You know, he's talking about killer drones. There's no such thing. Killer robots. This ain't Terminator, boy. You better wake up. Because I'm saying, if a war come to America, this would have come to America too. Look, I want to show a picture. That's the quadcopter. Hold up. I want y'all to get a picture of the quadcopter. That's the quadcopter right there. Front lines. Killer drones. Hold up. Let me tell y'all. They said, I want to go to the Wall Street Journal one. A month ago, while Ukraine deadly drone operation run like McDonald's, boy. They're running this drone operation like McDonald's, y'all. Here go the audio. I'll be back after the audio.
Когда мы стали понимать эффективность точечно от одного дрона, стало понятно, что это надо форматировать.
In a secret Ukrainian bunker, dozens of Ukrainian drone pilots are attacking Russian targets 24 hours a day across the country. This is the first time cameras have been allowed inside. The Wall Street Journal was given exclusive access inside the command center of the drone unit Lazar's Group, where their industrial-scale operation works to wipe out Russian equipment and kill as many soldiers as possible.
Were you admitted to any New York juvenile?
I'm saying, bro, y'all need to keep watching. We got to keep watching. Or y'all on here, y'all taking Ghost's word for it. I'm saying Zelensky is with this operation. He got 300,000 troops on the front line, but they got a drone unit, dozens of pilots flying all the drones. They got a drone unit, Zelensky in the room with the drone unit, because that's how you controlling the war. If you killing 70 to 90% of the frontline Russians with drones, that's why I said what I said. All you got to do is keep him supplied with drones. Putin can't win that war. Who gonna tell you that? Where you gonna hear that at? I ain't hating on CNN. You gonna hear that on Fox? You gonna hear that on CBS or MSNBC? All you got to do is keep Zelensky supplied with drones, and I don't see how Putin wins. Zelensky, really, he got the numbers. If his military is over 1 million people, and he got 300,000 on the front line, really, he kind of got the numbers to sustain that war for a long enough period of time to be able to convince Putin that he can't win. That's the only problem. We got to convince Putin that he can't win. That's the strategy. You don't have to push the Russians back. You know what I'm saying? Zelensky going to take their land. Zelensky taking back hundreds of miles of lands from the Russians. That's strategic, because guess what? You got to fight for it back. It might take Putin a year to get that land back. And you're going to lose hundreds of thousands. Zelensky is killing about 1,000 to 1,500 Russians per day. Think about that, per day. And the vast majority of the way he's killing them is with drones. Look, I want to keep going. Killer drones. That's the first thing I said in the name of the title. People reading that, all the old people. You know what I'm saying? Who think they know everything and don't understand how this world is changing. Right before your old eyes, this world is changing.
Nearly 4 years into the war in Ukraine, drones have gone from battlefield experiment to indispensable, scalable machines of destruction. So paramount to war that Ukraine and Russia are locked in a race to produce drones each month that are cheaper, faster, and more lethal. Now, they're testing Europe's defenses.
Russian drones were spotted within NATO airspace, this time in Romania. Poland's prime minister has confirmed that Russian drones...
Listen, you know what they doing? The first line of defense. Y'all not thinking about this. You're not going to hear this nowhere else. This is Ghost. Modern warfare. The first line is a drone. They're going to send a robot at you before they send a man first. Why would they do that? Hey, you kill a humanoid. Elon, how much y'all charge for a humanoid? Right now, maybe about 60 to 100,000. How much you charge? I'm saying how much the American military paying for a humanoid. You talking about them drones, how cheap them drones are. The drones you could put cameras on the drones, and I'm sitting there looking at everything that's going on. I could put a weapon on the drone so I could do everything a human doing. I could kill somebody. And the drone worth $300-400. And it's a piece of plastic. It's not a life. So if you destroy the drone, what am I losing? You talking about $300-400? How much money been spent in that war? So the name of the game isn't troops. The name of the game is drones. Zelensky gonna be able to have enough troops if he has more drones. He gonna be able to hold the positions that he have with the humans he need to have. You see, Putin is trying to take land, so Putin has to attack. And when you come to attack, guess what I got waiting for you? We watching everything you do. When you're sleeping, at nighttime, before the morning before the troops arise to advance, guess what we doing? We watching every movement. There ain't nothing you doing on that battlefield right now. There is absolutely nothing you are doing out there to where it's not being watched and seen, because the introduction of artificial technology and the introduction of drones, it's a robot war. That's what's being raged right now in Ukraine. So President Trump has to be aware of this. President Trump, he needs to understand this. And President Trump, your strategy of Russia being this big and Ukraine being this big is exactly what we expect from a 79-year-old. It's exactly what I would expect if I tell one of my parents about killer drones. They think of Terminator. Killer drones. This boy going nuts. We knew he was nuts. He need a doctor. They think of Terminator. But this ain't a Terminator situation. This is a real life situation. You keep Ukraine supplied with drones and the operators. And that's how you win this war. To win the war, you don't have to necessarily push Russia out of Ukraine. To win the war, you don't have to necessarily get all the land you lost back. To win the war, you don't have to go to Moscow. That's not winning the war. That's what Russia has to go to. You ain't got, all you got to do is just keep them in the same spot. And when you keeping them in the same spot, you just showing Putin that he cannot win. That's how you win the war. Show Putin he can't win. So President Trump is strongly advised, because I see a very close coalition or parallel between Iran and Russia. I mean, geopolitically, they're allies. Geopolitically, they stand against everything America's supposed to believe in: human rights, free markets, capitalistic society, all that good stuff. I'm saying geopolitically, they're human rights violators. Geopolitically, they're your ops, biggest ops. So I'm saying, if you finna do that in Iran and you're going to look to do something with the oil I'm saying, even if you come up with a deal in Iran, I'm saying I would still have the eye on Putin and Russia. If I hear President Trump put sanctions on Putin, I'm talking about harsher sanctions. Or President Trump saying, listen, all you got to do is get them drones. Just come up. They might want this weapon and that weapon. And I'm not saying they don't need Tomahawks. I'm not saying they don't need, don't get it wrong. But I'm saying the majority, how I go to sleep at night, you say, okay, I don't want to give them Tomahawks. I don't want to give them American-made weapons. How I go to sleep at night is I know that Zelensky got more than enough drones that he needs. And he got more than enough operators. If he's got one, what they call it, of drone operations, dozens of them that works like McDonald's, he's got one unit. I'm saying that's what I was saying. The Europeans, you get 2 units. Put twice as many drones you have in the sky. Put 3 times as many drones you have in the sky. I'm saying flood the sky with drones. Every time across the whole battle line. I'm talking about I will have drones stationed in position across that whole line. I have drones watching my troops for their safety, and I'm sure the Ukrainians are doing that. And I have drones, I'm talking about when the Russians, when they wake up in the morning and when they brushing their teeth, I'll be watching. And I'm talking about I'll be waiting on them to go to their cars. I'll be trying to develop the drones where you can't spot them on the radar. I'd be developing the drones where I'm saying all that technology, Lockheed Martin, Tesla, all these companies, the AI, OpenAI, all y'all putting all that money. I'm saying those conventional weapons, I could take a $500 drone, a swarm of them, and I could destroy I'm talking about tens of $1 million equipment, military equipment. I could do it all with the cheap drones. Y'all get me now? You want to laugh at me now? Laugh at me. Put some laughing emojis. Let me see them. That's how you beat him. That's how you beat Putin. That's how you win the war. Y'all got to understand what I'm saying when I'm saying it. And if I don't break it down or explain it to you, that's on me. Because that's how you win. With those drones. That's the key. That's the secret. The drones went from them testing them to Putin. To Zelensky understands. Those drones save human lives and they take human life at the same time. If I got drones doing this, I don't have to send a man out here to do this. And I'm saving lives. And I'm evening up the number on the battlefield. Putin has to advance. I don't have to advance. All I have to do is stop his advance. So you give me a whole bunch of drones, I'm giving you the game. This how Ghost would be strategizing that war if I was advising the generals. Sir, when they don't need to be able to go use the bathroom without us seeing what they're doing. So we kill them at will. We can't kill all of them, kill as many of them as we can. And that's how he losing 1,000 to 1,500 of them a day. They being hunted and taken down. Somebody says killer drones are fast and their operators work from Kansas City. These drones operators, their operators were working from where they were at, y'all. They in Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? They're in Ukraine, man. It's an amazing thing. It's unbelievable, bro. Like whenever I was studying and I was researching and I was thinking about it, I was like, how is Putin how is Zelensky able to keep Ukraine at bay Zelensky's able to keep Russia at bay for so long. It made no sense to me. Russia's so much bigger. They have so much manpower. They can send so many people. So how are they able to do this? And I kept researching and then I start hearing about killer drones, and it just sounds like a science fiction thing. It sounds cool, but it doesn't sound realistically a killer drone. It sounds like a Terminator situation, a Terminator thing, you know what I'm saying? And I keep on researching and I start seeing how they're fighting this war. You know what I'm saying? Look, back when President Biden was still in power, I had seen something on YouTube where it was suggesting that the reason why the Americans, and this might not be real, this could be, but it's something to think about. The reason why the Americans didn't want peace in Ukraine, or the reason they wanted the war to go on, because a lot of these companies who benefit off of wars being fought, where not only are they going to make money off conventional guns, because you still need all those guns. You got 300,000 troops. You still need guns for them 300,000 troops. You still need bullets. And what I'm saying is that the Russians, their troops still need guns and bullets. So, all the people who promote war and make money off war, all the conventional people, I'm saying they're for the war. But the thing is, think about how many drones, those drone makers. If you want to make millions or billions or even trillions of dollars right now, because I could guarantee you that a good portion of the military spending for Ukraine, NATO, all of that is going on them drones. Imagine if you own a drone, you made drones right now. Because you could easily make drones and add the technology that could be fought in Ukraine. And I'm talking about they need them, about 100. Listen, they would need more drones than you can make. So whatever your budget and your bottom line is, you'll be doubling it and tripling it if you was a drone maker making drones maybe if y'all want to invest in something, y'all invest in those startup drone companies because them startup, I'm telling you, them drone, if they buy them drones in Russia and Ukraine, they need them for the war. I'm saying America, you don't think America got people, America, I promise you, America, the CIA, they probably over there dictating half of what's going on. They basically fighting that war because America is a war country. America has been involved in wars since, that's what we do. We are the warriors. This is the nation of warriors. Putin trying to be what Putin used to be, what America is today. So if we know that America's the war country, I mean, think about the military. So America, we just in South America. Oh, guess what? We got Marines across Iran. We could get there in a month. He's sending aircraft carriers in a month. He got you surrounded in a month. You see what I'm saying? So if we the nation of war, we got all the expensive equipment that, guess what? Then, we going to know how to do them drones. Yeah, we going to stay there with Zelensky. The CIA don't never want to leave. CIA ain't got to tell me Ghost is smart. They don't want to leave because they learning how to fight that war. So the next time America gets into a conflict where they have to fight a war, guess what? I guarantee you when they went and got Maduro, they used drones. I guarantee you when they got Maduro, they used AI. You guys better wake up, man. Do the research. Big Ghost right. I'll be right back, y'all. Oh man, Orange and Nelly, what's up? Strategic, man. Everything I do is strategic. Oh shoot, man, that was a mistake. Let me see. Orange and Nelly, I hope that's how I pronounce your name. I accidentally did your comments, removed your comments, but I was trying to add you as a moderator, so I added you as a moderator. So I appreciate you showing up in the live stream and participating. Thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? Also, you have some very good comments. You know what I'm saying? I like the stuff that you be saying. What else we say? He's got to go outside and pee right now. No, I'm not going outside and pee. Actually, I went inside McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? But you focused on the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling them about all the things that's going on in America. You wondering where I pee at. That's how you make your first error. That's your first mistake. Since he said that, I want to tell you guys a story. Yesterday, I'm riding on the road. Look, I'm going to show y'all. Okay? Yesterday, I'm riding on the road just like this. I'm riding on the road, and while I'm riding, some dude walks out in front of me. Y'all see that? While I'm driving, a guy walks out in front of me, and he's saying, "You're going the wrong way." I'll put this on everything I love. He in the middle of the road, just like I showed y'all in front of me. So I'm stopped. And as I'm stopped, I blew, like he's still standing there. He won't get out the middle of the road. And I blew my horn at him just like this. I'm like, dude, move. What you doing? He got a wife and a child with him. And he told me I'm going the wrong way, and he's standing in the middle of the road. So I'm like, God, get out the way. So I move towards him. You see what I'm saying? He moves, you know? So I go use the bathroom. I turn back around and I come back. He on the phone talking to the police. Guys, I can't make this up. I'm like the guy that called the police. He's standing in the middle of the road because I'm going the wrong way according to him. And then he calls the police on me for what? I have no idea. Why are you calling the police? So whenever the police show up, you know what I'm saying, I let him get his story out, and he's stupid. He tell the police he's standing in front of me in the middle of the road. Well, sir, you don't know the law. I know the law. And I told the police he acting like they did against ICE. I'm saying, I don't know what y'all thinking in your mind. You can't stand in front of a car, impede. That's called impede. You obstructing traffic. You cannot impede traffic. That's against the law. If it was you do against federal police or federal officers or agents, that's a federal crime. Impeding traffic, you can't stand in front of a car in the middle of, I'm gonna go stand out in the middle of the road. Stop! In the middle of the highway. You standing in front of a car where cars are driving, saying I'm going the wrong way. My point is, that's what's wrong with people in their head and their minds. They get to thinking in their own minds and their own heads some trivial stuff, and he making up stuff. Now he gonna stand in the middle of the road and tell, like, I'm trying to figure out who he is. Are you a police officer? You work for the court? I'm saying, who are you? You just a regular dude, and you gonna stand in the middle of traffic and tell me I'm going the wrong way, then call the police on me. So you gonna break a law, admit to the police that you broke a law when they show up, and then call the police on me. You break the law and call the police. It's unbelievable, the stupidity of people. How stupid he is. I'm trying to wonder why the police didn't give him a ticket and go to jail. He lied to the police and said I threw something at him too. It's on the police, but it's all recorded. He said, see, he telling the story to the police. He don't know the law. I know the law. And the police saying, okay, if you standing in the middle of the road, you breaking the law. I don't know he was going the wrong way. That's what y'all don't understand. If it's a misdemeanor, the police got to really observe it for them to do something. If they, I mean, come on. Unless they can see the evidence. You recorded it, it's a girl, and she got a black eye or something like that. Other than that, man, you saying somebody cussed you out. Yeah, cussing might be a crime in your community. But I'm saying if the police didn't see it, I'm saying he probably should tell you to just, whatever's doing, diffuse that and leave. It's a misdemeanor that he didn't witness. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying this dude, even though obstructing traffic or standing in front of a car in the middle of the street, even though it's a misdemeanor, he told the police he did it. He's sitting there, he calling the police to tell them that he broke the law. How stupid they are. I'm talking about, that's what I mean. You don't live in reality, bro. You in la la land. You in your own world making up your own rules. And in your world and your rules, you gonna watch this dude when he gotta pee. That's your world and your rules. But I'm gonna bring you to reality in the real world and the real rules, because I'm saying, like, I had an elevated heart rate. My blood pressure high. I'm at risk of a heart attack. Every time you act stupid, I got a disability. I'm a disabled veteran. Every time you do something stupid, I'm in a risk of a heart attack. You don't know that. That's why you don't go around acting stupid. He in the middle of the street, obstructing traffic, like he in an ice raid in Minneapolis. I don't know this dude. He don't know me. And the worst thing about it, he got his baby and a girl. I don't know if that. I told him he was acting like a transgender, because that's what he acting like, a transgender. You breaking the law, calling somebody on calling the police on somebody else while you breaking the law. If you told the police I was driving down the wrong road, all he needed to do is show up, see that I'm not drunk or high, and leave. But I'm saying, like, you ain't called the police. You got to go stand in the middle of the road like you Superman or something. What kind of trophy you get for telling me I'm going the wrong way? I'm talking about no cars within probably 10 miles. We at a train station. It's not like you in Manhattan or some, or you anywhere where it's cars really. Where we at is in a park where ain't no other cars nowhere around. No cars coming, no cars coming. It's very rare that you have a car to drive up here. You guys, we in the mountains, the only people really driving up there is the people that live there, and everybody else is on foot traffic, walking. You know what I'm saying? It's back in the cut. So I'm driving back in the cut, and he in the middle of the road back in the cut saying I'm going the wrong way. Bro, I got to use the bathroom. You better get your goofy self off the road. You can't stand in the middle of the road and block traffic. That's what I'm saying. In your mind, you can do that. In your mind, you don't care about the law. You don't care about the rules. That's why you don't know them. A monkey could tell you standing in the middle of traffic in front of cars is against the law. I don't see how he didn't know or understand that. To me, that's common sense. So I don't know why you calling the police when you breaking the law. You can't say you was crossing the street. It's snow everywhere. So if you walking in the middle of the road and New York got a cross, that's why they put the crosswalk on the side. So you could walk in the side. But you walking in the middle of the road trying to tell people what to do like you, who are you? That's what I'm saying. Oh, I used to be in the military. What's that got to do with right now? I used to be in the military too. I'm trying to figure out who you are to where you're going to try to tell somebody what to do. Who are you? Because I'm saying if I could make a big deal about this, I could get him arrested. He lying to the police. That's a crime too. That's two crimes. He lied to the cops. He's sitting there telling the cops his side of the story. And when he said he was standing in the middle of the road, the police know he the one committing the crime. I don't know. They asked me, did I drive on the wrong side? Because how would he know? He wasn't there. Anybody got a record? No. Well, how do we know? It's his word against his word. So I don't know that he was driving on the road side of the road, but you done told me you was standing in the middle of the traffic, so you committed to committing the crime. What you doing standing in the middle of the road trying to tell him where to go, right or wrong? That's crazy, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's not a female doing that. That's him. This dude, you a transgender. You gay. You acting like a gay person, bro. I'm saying his female, I could see, a female, they might be particular nitpick about some stupid stuff like that. But I'm saying, say it from, you got a baby in a carriage, a baby stroller. I'm saying, what if I'm deranged or something happened to me and evil or wicked, I call it the devil, Satan, tell me to mash on that gas, bro, and he in that baby carriage. And they move out the way or something happened, the baby tipped over and the baby then died or bumped his head. I'm saying don't do no stupid stuff like that. In my opinion, the police, it wasn't funny. They should have did something to him because he got a baby and a female out here with him. The reason he got the baby and the female is so I don't get out the car and mop dubs. Because I'm the type of dude I respect. I'm a legal person. I respect the law. I'll punch you in your face, though. The law allows me to punch you. The law allow me to kill you at certain moments in time. Y'all just don't understand the law like I do. That's why you probably shouldn't play with me like that. You don't know the law. Like I know the law better than the police coming. If I don't know the law, that's different, but I know the law. So whatever they say, I'm telling them that this dude is breaking the law and he calling the police on me while he committing the crime. He calling the police on me while he committing the crime. If I take him into court and sue him, what the judge gonna do to help you? The judge can't help you. That's you too stupid. That's too stupid. The judge can't rule in your. There's no space for him to rule in your favor. I'm trying to tell you now. I'm deep in this game. There's no space for the judge to rule in your favor. You committing a crime, obstructing traffic. And due to your stupidity, you called the police on him. You told a lie, said he threw something at you. You keep lying to the police if you want to. They got body cameras that's on when you tell them in this story. You giving me the evidence to sue you. Because I'm saying after I went and used the bathroom and I came back, I wasn't recording, so I had nothing to prove he was standing in front of me. Nothing. He committing a crime, a misdemeanor. If I wanted to get him in trouble, I couldn't have proved it. He called the police. And then he told them that. And due to the fact he's standing in the middle of the road, once you told him I threw something at him, now they don't believe you. Because they wonder, why you out here obstructing traffic trying to talk to this dude? That's what the judge will be wondering. So you said, oh, he threw something at you. What he threw at you? Where is it at? We could go down there and go see it. We could find what he threw at you. He threw something at you. You could pick that up to show the police, or we could go down there and look what he threw at you. So you lied to the police on camera, and you committed a crime and then called the police on me and admitted that you did it on camera. And I had a panic attack. You can't win that lawsuit. I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. That's what happens to people who watching, he going to use the bathroom. That's what's going to happen to you. You're going to get mammy ducked. You worried about the wrong thing, man. You got to worry about the stuff that matter. The Bible says that the world's going to wax worse and worse. Candace, I want to salute you, baby. Everybody shout out Candace Owens. One thing I heard Candace Owens doing, she said people who always talk about the Lord. She said they overly talk about God. I know what she's talking about. There's no situation where you could talk about God in a way to where it helps or uplifts someone. You see what I'm saying? If I talk about God 30,000 times a day, and I'm saying I got 15 people, I convert 15 people a day from being drug addicts, or convert 15 people a day from, you know what I'm saying, being sex addicts, help them change their lives, make them better humans, help them receive Christ and become Christians. I'll never talk about God too much if it's something fruitful coming from it. You see what I'm saying? But I'm talking about people who are always talking about God because they be using God as a weapon for their advantage. They're not using God as a weapon to help rescue someone. That's what the gospel's intended for. Jesus was intended to bring hope. They're using the gospel as a weapon to either make themselves seem like they're something they're not, or to try to put someone else down or destroy. I think that's what Candace was talking about. So I understand that. But I'm saying whenever I say God, I'm saying it in a way that I could give you a scripture to where it applies to our everyday life, how I'm living. Because I believe in God. I believe that just like the evil or the devil is present in situations, I believe God and the good is present in situations. I believe that. And we cannot ignore the scriptures or get the script or separate ourselves from God's hand in our lives. We cannot do that. So I'm saying I do talk a lot of times. I'll give you Bible and scriptures, but it's not to, you know what I'm saying, make myself look better. I think Candace was talking about a situation where, you know what I'm saying, this girl, her husband, he was executed in the public. And your story's not adding up. The FBI story's not adding up. Turning Point story not adding up. Nothing ain't adding up. Something in the milk ain't clean. And you always talking about God. I think that's what she's talking about. In a situation like me, I'm talking about, I don't see how, look, the guy standing in the middle of the road, God ain't really, I don't look at that as really a situation God got anything to do with or not. The response that you have, the response that I responded to and the way he responded to, it don't really, I don't think that's God really. I think that's more of to do with whether you being a Christian or not. It shows your character. It shows what you believe. Not necessarily you being a Christian. As a Christian, separate my disability from who I am. I don't know how you could do that, but separate my disability as a Christian disability aside. I'm supposed to respond or act as Jesus did in that situation. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by that, man. Looking at it from that direction, man, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could say, like, I feel like really like it was just like an attack on me, like him being in the middle of the road, but it's really funny to me. And I'm saying I'm not really having mercy because that's a whole lawsuit. That's a lawsuit. The paramedics, when he came, he said my blood pressure was high, and it took him an extra 15 to 20 minutes to get there. So imagine when I told him to call him, how my blood pressure was. It probably was so high, they would have took me in the ambulance whether I wanted to go or not. Almost, it might be, you don't even tell how high it was. I'm not going to speculate. But I'm saying it took them a while, and when they put the machine on me, he was like, man, he was telling me, yeah, like, you need to come to the hospital. But I'm like, man, I'm good. I got a disability, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even if he wouldn't have had the wife and kid with him, which to me, which made it the worst thing possible. You standing in the middle of a road with a wife and a baby in a baby carriage. In the middle of a road when cars coming, you see my car come, you got a wife and a baby, and you don't get out the way. You stand there in the middle of the way for over 5 seconds. That dude needed at least a ticket. He needs a ticket for doing that. I don't know why the police didn't give him a ticket. You see what I'm saying? Because if I make a deal about that, I'm saying you'll lose 1 trillion ways. You can't win. Somebody says how much a car camera costs. It don't matter how much a car camera costs. I don't need a car camera. I got one on my phone. I got about 5 cameras in here. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to make a living walking in front of cars. You got a lawsuit for no reason for doing that. For nothing. It's the stupidest thing. I'm saying, to me, my opponents are getting stupider by the day, by the minute. They're getting stupider and stupider. Every attempt you try, you just getting stupider and stupider. I mean, you walking in front of moving cars now. Calling the police after you walked in front of a moving car standing in the middle of the road committing a crime. You calling the police on somebody while you committing a crime. You cannot, I promise you, that is on the Guinness Book of World Stupidness. And look, he don't even know that he committing a crime. That's even more stupid. He's so stupid, he don't know standing in the middle of a road blocking traffic is a crime. That's how stupid he is. You see what I'm saying? But you being that stupid, it's even stupider because you committing a crime and you calling the police. That's why I'm in Walmart putting candy in my pocket and I'm calling the police on me because they looking at me crazy or harassing me, but I'm in there stealing. Dude, if I'm doing something wrong, I'm not going to call the police. That's the last people I want there. What? I'm standing in the middle of the road blocking him. Okay, I'm going to make this point. Because you got to separate yourself. This is what I mean. You're not in reality. You thinking that you could keep doing that. Can a man take fire in his bosom and not get burnt? I'm not trying to quote scriptures and act like I'm spiritual. I'm not quoting scriptures to condemn you or put you down. That's what they do. Or quoting scriptures to lift me up or make me seem good. I'm quoting scriptures to give you knowledge or to prove a point. I'm trying to prove to you, if you keep doing stupid stuff, you keep playing with fires, you going to get burnt. And you might get burnt, but I'm saying, God said, can a man take fire in his bosom, not get burnt? Can a man keep on standing in front of moving cars in the middle of the road and not get hit? Can you keep on speeding and not get a speeding ticket? Can you keep on killing and not get convicted for murder? You keep doing stupid, you gonna get what stupid does, stupid get. What stupid does, stupid gonna get. That's stupid, man. You gotta be better than stupid. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be nothing. You just gotta be better than stupid. You can't do something stupid. If the police respond to the stupidity, just because you get them to go along with what you're doing, you just getting them in trouble. That's all you doing. They gonna get in trouble now. Because in my opinion, he should have got a ticket. If he was doing that by himself and they wanted to let him make it, that's one thing. If you in the middle of the road with a baby, I'm talking about this is a precious life in a carriage. I'm trying to look in the girl and I'm trying to sneak around and get a good view. Man, this ain't no real baby in there. That's like a little porcelain doll. He's standing in the middle of a road against a disabled veteran. I mean, I'm a good guy. I'm not going to hit the guy. They know that. But I'm saying, how do you know that? What happened? Every person who got killed or tragedy happened, they knew it wasn't going to happen. That's why it happened. So I'm saying, you doing that. What happened if I'm sitting here trying to play with you, and I got my foot on the brake and I start pressing the gas, trying to squeal the tires, and oops, the devil pushed my foot. See, there I go. I can't help myself. I lose my foot off the brake and then the car go forward and you got the baby and that girl. I'm saying all you got to do is tip that stroller. That baby going to get hurt drastically. Just tip it. I'm saying she could easily do that in any wild turn. It's so people don't look at. I see a lot of things that they can't see, and they out here trying to prove a point, or just being stupid, or watching me go to the bathroom, or trying to sneak in my car and look at my dirty underwear. They out here like they minds is in a place of immaturity and stupidity that I can't go with you with. I can't play that game with you with. If the police go on your side and play that game with you with, then you know what's going to happen to them. The same thing that's been happening to them. I don't care. I sue 1,000 times. I got lawsuits. The only reason why I haven't filed a new lawsuit, as soon as I get off the phone with y'all, the only reason why I haven't filed a new one, because I'm in the middle of litigation on one. And I've been answering. All these are answers that an attorney sent me. And I'm looking for my answers in the mail from the mayor and the police chief. I'm looking for their responses to my questions, sir. Yeah. Somebody go tell them I say that. But I got 2 lawsuits in here to file. And I got to do this one. And dude just gave me a 3rd one, and I got a 4th one. I'm not going to stop suing. I'm going to keep suing you. And when you retaliate, I'm going to wait till you, I'm slow-mo until you retaliate, and I'm going to launch off 3 or 4 of them in a week at one time. I'm going to just go loco on you. Next move you make do you get the police to be stupid with you, you're going to get sued next time, 4 of them in a week. I got 3 of them in the court, about to be 4. I'm going to double up in 1 week. I'm going to sue them 4 times in a week. I'm going to put all you might as well call the attorney general and go and try to lie, make up a lie to the attorney general, because I'm going to tell her on the police. Next police department that do something stupid, the last one that did something. This police department, they really didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? What can they do? This dude out here telling us he committed a crime, so if I got to get him for doing something which I can't prove he did, because they no-goes. You're going to have to go into court and you're going to have to show the judge how I was driving on the wrong side of the road. You can't do that. I know that and you know that. But you did admit to the judge that you were standing in the middle of the road obstructing traffic. You did admit that to the police, and his body camera is on. So what I'm trying to say is, what the police going to do to me? They should have arrested or gave you a ticket, not arrested him. They should have gave him a ticket and told him, sir, if you was out here without that girl and that baby, I wouldn't have gave you a ticket. But because you in the middle of the road with that baby, mainly, if the girl want to be in the middle of the road, Bonnie and Clyde, be stupid. Y'all both could be stupid. However, that baby, his life, he's not choosing. That child is not even 5 years, 2 years old. That child is not choosing. And that child has his whole life ahead of him. And that child is not choosing to partake in your parents' stupidity. Because, see, if they doing stupid stuff like that, they doing stupid stuff with that baby in other areas in their life that we can't see as well. That's what y'all don't think about. People don't think about it like me. God protecting the child, yeah, sure, the child might be all right, might not, though. We don't know. All I'm saying, that's how we get rid of problems in our world. You deal with them. You don't laugh at them. If that dude is putting that baby out there like that, he's doing something stupid somewhere else in his life, too. So what you need to do with that baby is, he need a ticket for that, to let him know, don't play with the baby. Don't do it with the baby. That's all we saying. If you guys have not liked the video, I ask that y'all go ahead, like the video for me, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Guys, we've been streaming for about 2 hours. What's up, Spreece? We've been streaming for about 2 hours. What, 2 hours and 10 minutes? 2 hours and 10 minutes. You guys know I've been working on the legal work. You know what I'm saying? I got stuff going on, stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? You know, cases to file, it's like people get mad because I'm suing them or I'm filing cases, so they giving me more. I'm telling you, all I got to do is stay up here in New England and I get more work than I can handle. I'm talking about case after case after case. When I started my business, I think it was in 2023 when I took off. And from 2023 to 2024, over an 18-month period, I think I had filed like 17 cases. Boy, I thought I was doing it then. I'm having another run just like that. The same kind of run I had in 2023, my business in its fourth year, it's in good standing, and I'm finna have a run bigger than that. All the cases I had bigger than 2023. I got 3 cases against 3 cities right now. I'm finna sue a business, and then let me see what that 4th case is. It's against individual. Unfortunately, I gotta start suing individuals. They calling the police on me for no reason, slandering me for no reason. So I can't let them keep doing that. If the police ain't gonna do nothing about it, I could report the police to the attorney general, because I'm saying that could have went the other way. If it did go the other way, yeah, because that dude committed a crime. But to stop him from doing that, you got to give him a ticket. You can't laugh. If you let him do that, then you really an accomplice to what him doing it again the next time. If him not doing it, somebody else doing that in your community. That's what you are. You a police. If you responded to the call, he called the police and he committing the crime. I don't care, misdemeanor, whatever you want to call it. Well, then you got to do something about that if you the police and if we going to take you serious. Because if you let somebody slide with something, then you got to let all that nonsense slide. You can't pick and choose. And I'm saying if you got somebody out, that's what discrimination, that's how you going to get sued for discrimination. If you let that, because why you going, so if I do that, if they call the police on me and I'm standing in the middle of a road like this and you show up and you do something to me now, you know I got you documented, you know what's going to happen to you. That's what I used to do. That's why when I was in College Station in Texas, somebody was harassing me in the library, right? So I called the police and I asked them, I said, hey, man, somebody sprayed some perfume or something in the air, got in my eyes. He said, did they spray it directly at me? I said, no, sir, they didn't spray it directly at me. He said, well, then it's and you can't do nothing about it. I said, oh, yeah, bro, I went and got, I'm a legal person. I went and got a whole can of air freshener. And the woman who I thought did it, I turned my back to her so she can't say I'm spraying it at her. And I went and lit that library on fire. Bro, they had college students in there. It was a couple of pretty girls, bro. They were on the floor laughing, bro. I was in there talking smack. Some dude came up there and tried to challenge me. He put his hands on me and I beat him in the face with that can of air freshener, and the police laughed at him. I promise when they came, my mama, I beat him in the face in the library, in the middle of the library with a can of air freshener, and they laughed at him. I'm telling you, bro, if I would have had a panic or something like that, I would have beat him up and sued him. The police said as long as I don't spray it at nobody, it ain't nothing they could do about it. So what I'm saying is I'm watching the police response and you allow a dude on a body camera to admit to you that he broke a law or committed a misdemeanor, whatever you want to call it. It don't matter what you call it. Federal, state, none of that matter. He wrong. Okay, that's what that means. He wrong. I'm going to break it down in simple terms. You want me to be precise? I do when I have to, but you're not going to beat me on the argument. He wrong. Okay, now, so because this dude, he done broke a law or he done committed a crime, whichever way they wanted, and he calling the police and he admitting to it, and then he lied to you and told you that he threw something at me, and you allow him to do that. So you can't do nothing to me, because see, what I'm going to do is, I told you I got a disability. You know I do. They were using the word crazy out there too. That's all recorded. And I told you I got a disability. So if you shoo and foo him doing that, so when I come out here and do this, because my disability, you telling me it's okay to do this. With my disability, you telling me it's okay to do this. So when I come out here and do this as a disabled black veteran, if the police should show up and do something to me, you know what I'm going in there with the court with. That's why you got to do it to everybody. I told them that it's not funny when somebody doing something wrong. If my child is breaking a law or a rule, when you put on this uniform, you are upholding the laws of this community and the laws of the state of New York. You represent New York. So these are New York's rules. They your rules, sir. What you laughing at him? He just a dude. He just out here, you know, get a little money. I'm a cop. Y'all look at me. I'm a cop. They ain't taking it serious. They not being trained right. That's what that is, bro. I'm just trying to help you out. Don't come out here. Ain't nothing out here funny, bro. really is stupid, it's really nonsense, and you really wasting the city's money, the taxpayers' money on this nonsense. Give him a ticket, bro. He put that baby life in danger. Y'all, 2 hours and 14 minutes. Y'all already know what time it is. If y'all want to donate to the channel, go ahead, hit that donate. See this dude talking about medication time. He must be finna smoke his crack. That's what I'm saying, bro. Y'all watching what I'm doing, bro. You could talk. You don't be personal. You too personal. You don't know me. If you don't know me, you don't know me. If you think you know me, you don't know me. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're going to get in trouble doing that. Imagine if I was going around doing that. You know what I'm saying? I was in New York, bro, by Cornell University. You know what I'm saying? And in the morning time, late at night, early in the morning, before they go running, it's like 4 or 5 in the morning. Them girls in the car changing clothes. You see what I'm saying? I had some of the females walk by my car. They ain't peering in my car. What if I did that to you? That's what you ain't got the empathy. That's why you always lose. God said, do unto others as you will have done unto you. This is schooling, Candace. It's a schooling moment. I ain't using the scriptures for my advantage. I'm trying to help. So don't do something to somebody that you don't want done to yourself. That's something you should have learned in kindergarten. We forget stuff. I know y'all memories ain't as good as mine. I'm trying to help you out, though, man. Ghostwriter, man. Y'all hit that donation button, bro. Guys, y'all know about that Tech Rich tour, man. It's gonna be out here in the man, well, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here in New York, you know. I don't know, man, like in New England, man, they telling me that the Tax the Rich tour, man, I need to start in New England, you know, to honor Bernie Sanders and AOC Mandami, you know what I'm saying? And your girl, Senator Warren, can't forget about her. You know what I'm saying? But you know that Tax the Rich tour, man, it's gonna be coming soon. We're gonna kick it off in April. We're gonna get it jumping. I think I have to say this. I gotta say something about Jasmine Crockett's campaign, guys. The early voting is over in the state of Texas. I made several predictions. This is what I'm gonna do for you right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? We had 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm going to go to my YouTube page. So I'm telling y'all where to get to it. We're going to view the channel. Let me see if I could get a link for the post. I can't get a link for it. Let me see if I could copy the text. But guys, I made 4 predictions. So you go to my page under posts. It was the last post I made. I made 4 predictions for the Texas Senate, the Democratic primary. I didn't do any for the Republicans. Prediction number 1, between 1.4 million and 2 million Democrats will vote. Well, early voting is over. You know what I'm saying? From the 17th to the 27th, you got 1 million Democrats to show up and vote. 1 million. More Democrats than Republicans. Okay? That's unbelievable. I made this prediction on February the 16th, a day before early voting started. Now, here's the thing. For this prediction to get correct, to become correct, I need at least 400,000 Democrats to show up and vote. 400,000 Democrats to show up and vote on voting day. Some people would say that you're only going to get a quarter of the voters from early voting to show up on election day. So Ghost, you saying 400,000 Democrats showing up on election day, that's more than what would normally happen. But what I'm saying is more Democrats voted than normally vote. I think, in my opinion, and I'm hoping I was right, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking you're going to get more than 400,000. I think you're going to get closer to 1 million Democrats. Listen to me now. 2 minutes and 22 seconds. We are Saturday before voting. I'm going to go live too before on Monday. I think you're going to get closer to 1 million Democrats that's going to show up and vote. A lot of money has been spent over these 4 days. A lot of money is being spent. More money, I believe they said, than any Senate primary in U.S. history has been poured into this one on the Republican side and on the Democratic side. That is astounding. Knowing that, I think you're going to see things we ain't never seen before in the Democratic primary in the state of Texas. I think you're going to get up to 1 million or more Democrats. Up to. My prediction, 1.4 million to 2 million Democrats will vote. Number 2, the winner needs 800,000 votes. So if 1 million people have already voted, the winner doesn't need 800,000 votes. You see what I'm saying? The winner needs just over 500,000 votes at this moment. So I made this prediction again on February 16th. So I'm predicting that enough people, after 1 million people have voted so far in early voting in Texas, I'm predicting enough people are going to vote on election day to where the winner will need 800,000 votes to win. We're going to see. That means probably roughly a little over 1.6 million people are going to vote. I don't know. I just, came up with that number due to the third party candidate, okay? So you don't get no runoff. So I'm thinking this right here, Prediction made. I made this prediction on February the 26th when early voting was still going on, that Jasmine Crockett would win. Now, I said she would win by 3 to 7 percentage points. And I still stand by that, but I didn't make an official prediction about that. But that'll justify the rest of the numbers that I made. I believe Tellerico is going to get an astronomical amount of votes. I just don't think it'll be enough. And I think her number of votes would be even more due to the black voters. If you make it a 50-50 race and a wash, you add in the black voters, she wins by 3 to 7 points, depending on how many of them show up. I think a 50-50 wash, he wins with white males, she wins with white females, and with Latinas, they're about split them. So that's what I mean, 50-50 wash across the board. You throw in the blacks, 3 to 7 point victory for Crockett. That's my prediction number 3. And prediction number 4, the Democrats will outvote the Republicans prior to the runoffs on March the 3rd. Having said that, man, I made 3 predictions in that race. I stand by my predictions. From the campaign that I seen Jasmine run, I want to say Jasmine ran an extraordinary campaign, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think Jasmine Crockett, we can learn a lot from the campaign that she ran coming in so late into the race. Every candidate couldn't do that. Okay? If it was Colin Allred, I'm not sure, I couldn't tell you, but if his campaign, if he would run it, of course he wouldn't run a campaign like Jasmine, but if Colin went against Tellerico, I would love to see them go against each other. I think Tellerico would beat him, having run the campaign Tellerico did. It's just who Tellerico's running against. That's Jasmine Crockett. In my opinion, and I get into what I really wanted to say, if Jasmine doesn't win that race, I think that would be a travesty for the Democratic Party. I'll say that one more time. If Jasmine does not win that race, I believe that would be a travesty for the Democratic Party. I believe that Jasmine has spent the better part of 4 years going hard for the Democrats. Jasmine has been one of the loudest voices. She's had the courage to say stuff about President Trump that not only no other Democrat has had the courage to do, no other person has had the courage to do. Understand that. So me knowing what Jasmine has done, the sacrifices she's made for the Democratic Party, even to the point where she gets death threats on the regular, knowing those sacrifices she made for the Democratic Party, if they look over her and if they nominate Tellerico, I think that would be a travesty for the Democratic Party. It explains why I won't get affiliated with a party. It's impossible that they could do that. You see what I'm saying? Like, listen, guys, I'm saying, like, if it was just the voters, and if it was just the voters went out there and they chose James Tellerico over Jasmine, that would be one thing. But it's not just the voters. We know it's the Democratic establishment behind the scenes, the string pullers, like people like Nancy Pelosi, people like Stephen Colbert. We know it's the Democratic establishment behind the scenes. They want Tellerico to win. There's been media outlets in the state of Texas that have endorsed publicly, openly, and they're free to do that. But you know they're not impartial if they're endorsing Tellerico. And I'm just saying, if you a media outlet in the state of Texas, even if you want Tellerico to win, I'm saying if you're going to endorse a Democratic candidate, the fact that you will overlook Jasmine Crockett is a travesty to the Democratic Party. And Jasmine, baby, I hate to have to do this. And I know that Marjorie Taylor Greene you're not a fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene whatsoever. But I'm saying, look at what happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene as well, with President Trump. She went to President Trump. She was seeking his endorsement. I spent millions of dollars standing behind you, risking my name, my reputation. And I'm saying, can I get your endorsement to run for senator in the state of Georgia? And look how that turned out. So it's not just the Democrats doing it, it's the Republicans too. And that's why the largest number, almost half of Americans, identify as independents. They're not Democrats or they're not Republicans. And I'm saying this is an opportunity. That's why I say Jasmine wins by 3 to 7 points. Listen, I'm going to explain it better on Monday, but I'm giving it to y'all right now. That's a reasonable explanation for the establishment wanting a candidate to win that they think could be a better general election candidate. That's a reasonable explanation for a large faction of independents and Republicans going out to vote for Tellerico. But at the same time, that's recognizing that the majority of the voters, guys, listen, 3 or 4 out of 6 or 7 Texans do not know who James Tellerico is. That same number, 18% of them don't know Jasmine. That means 82% know who Jasmine is. And I'm saying, baby girl, for the better part of 4 years, have dug in for the Democratic Party. If the voters who don't even know who he is, but they know who she is, would choose to pick him over her, that would be understanding. But that would never happen in any scenario where the voters would pick an unknown candidate over a candidate that they do know, not only that they do know that is well beloved within their party, who they look like as a soldier who has done dirt for them before. They don't even know him, but they know her. Not only do dirt, she's done dirt to get death threats on a constant basis. She say stuff for the Democratic Party that nobody else will say. It's no way they'll pick him over her. But I'm saying I don't think what Stephen Colbert did was enough to help him. But I'm saying due to his tactics, due to media outlets who endorse Democrats but decide to endorse him over her, it's like they trying to prop him up and make him that. That's what I'm saying. So in my mind, if he was to win, looking at the numbers in Dallas County, I'm talking about 1,000 students from Texas State marching to go vote for. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying she's running an excellent campaign. The name recognition, even him outspending her, they still don't know him. I'm saying, looking at it, if he was to win, I don't care by a point. I don't care if he went to a runoff and he won by a point. If he was to win that race, in my opinion, it wouldn't be a travesty to her as much as it would be to the Democratic Party. Because reverse the roles. If she was the unknown candidate that was spending all that money, and he was the known sitting congressperson, reverse the roles. That's why I tell you, empathy, you got to see it from both sides. That's how I could win the argument. I could be a good judge because I see it from both sides, naturally. So you understand what I'm saying? That would be a travesty for the Democratic Party. More so for them than it would be for her. It would tell me more about your party than it would about Jasmine. And the penalty for you doing that, if he wins, is that you lose in November. That's your penalty. You don't have to believe ghosts. But when it play out, I'm going to come back like I always do and tell you, ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. You wanna endorse President Trump? Then, hey, y'all say he would be the better president. Then, hey, that's on you. But when Nick Fuentes, I should have voted for VP Harris. Oh, really? You should have. I'm saying if you hear him say that, he's talking to millions of young white voters. Your top general lieutenant who helped turn out those voters for you, young people, he got shot in the neck. I'm saying Candace, she done washed her hands with y'all. She said, man, I got independents, Democrats, and Republicans listening to me. Candace said she washed her hands with y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's what she said. Don't listen to me. I'll play it for you. I watch it every night, every single show, every single minute of every show she do. She said, I ain't in that. She washed her hands. Tucker going to Israel, interviewing Mike Huckabee, bumping heads like, what's going on with y'all supporting Israel so strong? These are the people who support him. You put Tucker, Candace, and Nick Fuentes together, that's about 6 million views of video. In the case of Candace and Nick Fuentes, their audience together, you talking about 3 to 4 million people watching per night. That's more than a lot of cable news broadcasts. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying these are your people that they're not as enthusiastic about you. During this time, in this climate, in this election, when you watched in Miami a female do the same thing Texas, almost the same demographics, you got more black people. That's the difference with Jasmine that helps her. There's more black people per capita in Texas than it is in Miami. But I'm saying you got a Hispanic female, a Democrat. She broke a 30-year. That to me, that's a model. Because if I look at the demographics of Miami, listen, if you take out the black Americans, you got a big Haitian faction in Miami. But I'm saying, like, overall, there's more Texans per capita, blacks. Tell me if I'm wrong. I never looked that up. I'll be shooting from the hip. Pay me and I'll do it. Pay me and I'll be CNN. Caitlin, baby, how much you making? How many millions you making, Miss Dana Bash? Anderson Cooper, I know you probably make close to about 20 million a year. If you pay me 20 million a year, I'll come on here. I'll give y'all something that the world ain't never seen before. You serious? 20 million a year. But I'm saying if I'm, what we got in donations, I'm not complaining, you know what I'm saying? My money coming from them blue folders. But I'm saying still, bro, like, you don't expect me to come on here and be like Caitlin or Anderson Cooper. I don't make that money. I'm shooting from the hip. But I'm going to be accurate in my strategy, and the bottom line of what I'm saying, I'm going to be dead accurate. I'm a litigator. I'm an arguer. I'm a pour into the facts of the case, but I'm saying the facts of the politics, I pour into the facts, but you know what I'm saying? I'm doing a 3-hour live stream, so all the numbers I give you might not be accurate. But overall, what I'm saying is right. Good morning, Queen T. Good morning, baby. She says, Trump has started a war with Iran and Israel, and the U.S. is involved. What's wrong with the orange man? Cryptic Wisdom says 20 million, let alone you could live a lavish lifestyle. 20 million, what? You know what I'm saying? Wayne says Team China, Team Fentanyl. Ain't nobody Team China. Ain't nobody Team China. I'm just saying, listen. If I look at the world stage, I look at my president, and I say my president, to let you know I'm not a hater, I'm an independent. I look at my president looking at his friend and saying, we're going to come take your land, even if by military force. That's what I see my president doing. I look at Xi, and at this moment, this ain't Barack Obama. Barack Obama is with that human rights. Joe Biden's with the human rights. VP Harris is with the human rights. This ain't Barack Obama. This is President Trump. And I look at Xi, and Xi is saying, hey, we need to all come together, reunite on the world order, stop attacking nations. Xi's sounding like what America used to sound like. You don't believe me? Why the Canadians went over there and they got Chinese EVs? Xi is he outsmarting the Americans. He outplaying us. He out hustling us. The Chinese have been outplaying and out hustling us, President Trump, for 2-3 decades. They still outplaying and out hustling us. President Trump, you ain't going hard on Xi or nothing. Xi said for the first time ever, the surplus in the Chinese trade hit over 1 trillion for the first time ever. And President Trump used tariffs and was complaining about the deficit with China. China's still making money. They just gonna not do business with America. He outmaneuvering you. He outsmarting you on every end. He done got Chinese EVs in China. He done got Chinese EVs, in Canada. And I don't care how you like me or how you feel about me. This ain't no in favor of the Democrats. This straight facts. That's what you want, facts. That's what I'm saying. I'm not for China. President Trump and them for China. Just like I never voted for President Trump. Nancy Pelosi put President Trump in the White House. Nancy Pelosi did that. Y'all didn't know that? Y'all remember tearing up the speech? Y'all remember him and her bumping heads that caused January 6th? We don't know whose fault it is or it's his fault. He say it's her fault. To her husband get hit in the head, he getting bullets shot at his ears. I'm talking about this the Wild Wild West. This ain't happened since the 60s. We thought we were past this. Nancy Pelosi, you all in the middle of this. Democrats get cream crop. Now the Republicans controlling. And she was the leader of the Democrats. She the leader. She helped Obama. I'm saying after Obama, Joe Biden, she told Joe Biden his time was up. She really didn't support VP Harris. She blocked Bernie Sanders, and that's how President Trump. Bernie Sanders, we went over this in March. I gave y'all the links. Bernie Sanders was beating President Trump by 24 points in March. You're not going to overcome. What 2 politicians President Trump beat? He beat 2 women. President Trump beat 2 females. He ran against a white man, and what happened? He lost. Bernie Sanders not just a white man, too. Bernie Sanders, look, y'all look at it like he a communist. You don't know the majority of Americans support progressive ideas. The majority of Americans make less than $75,000 or $80,000 a year, the majority. So the majority of Americans support progressive ideas. You see what I'm saying? Hold the MAGA administration accountable and stop playing the blame game. You know what I'm saying? Quintia, baby, it's going to take probably, you know what I'm saying? It's going to probably take to about, you get the Democrats get power to have to do that. Real talk. Because I'm saying it do sound like the Republicans are playing the blame game. You can't be blaming Joe Biden for something that you the president, and you've been the president, man, for over a year. You can't be blaming President Biden now, and that's not going to fly with the people. What you're saying might be right, but you got to take some kind of accountability to be able to be successful in what you're doing. Ain't no accountability was taken for the death of Renee Good. Ain't no accountability was taken for the death of Alex Peretti. Ain't no accountability was taken for Tom Homan taking a bag of cash from the FBI. I'm saying, to me, President Trump, he's doing, once again, unintended consequences. That's what I'm going to name this live stream. It's things that shows you. Ghost can make predictions. We're going to talk my political skill predictions and see how good I am. But Ghost can make predictions and see things like football games or something that's tangible that you can see the results of. But I'm saying unintended. Nancy Pelosi, unintended consequences, not having the wisdom to say you doing certain moves, you created President Trump. You blocking AOC, you causing the Democrats to get cream crop because your party has grown and naturally developed to produce a superstar like AOC. You don't block her, you let it be natural. You could say she's too progressive or whatever, all those progressive politics, those policies, she's not going to be able to get all that stuff passed. And if she does, it's just going to help out a bunch of poor people. I don't see no big deal. You see what I'm saying? She could run however she wants to, but she ain't going to never really be able to step away from Israel. I understand how politicians, their power is a lot more limited than they want to think it is. So what I'm saying, but when you blocking her from the natural path and saying she's not ready, you creating President Trump. You don't realize that. Listen to me. Y'all listening to me? This is profound. A few of y'all in here. When you blocking Jasmine Crockett from becoming the Democratic nominee in the state of Texas, you are creating Ken Paxton Trump Jr. You're doing it yourself. You can't even see it. Ghosts could see that. See what I'm saying? It's similar situations. It's unintended consequences for your actions. You got to be smart enough and have the wisdom to see that. Like, if I go over here and I wage this conflict with Iran, who's going to become the Iranian leader after we remove this regime? Unintended consequences for your actions, for your words. We totally obliterated their nuclear program. Unintended consequences is you trying to make a nuclear deal with them within less than a year later, a few months later. You gotta, but people don't understand. I'm not gonna send no commandos in there. You're not gonna solve the problem. I could do this all day. You got to have a certain amount of wisdom, and I believe it comes from God, not just experience, because a lot of these people have experience, or the leader, he don't listen to the experience, and his decision-making is just off. You got to let things be natural. The Democratic Party naturally raised up Jesse Jackson. Every Democrat should be trying to support whoever wins that nominee. You got to let it be natural. Nancy Pelosi, she said, I pray that in 2013, bro, I said, bro, this is facts. You can't hate on none of this. And I don't care if Nancy Pelosi a Democratic queen. I'm not a Democrat. So I'm free to speak on whatever I want to. I'm not a Democrat. I don't care how she feel. I done went up against people way richer and way powerful than her. And that might sound facetious to you. Check the court cases. I pray that Hillary Clinton becomes president in 2013. That's what Nancy Pelosi said. We did it. It's published. Check the live streams. In 2013, she praying that Hillary Clinton become president. So Hillary Clinton running in 2016. Now, they just kind of felt like they blocked her against Barack Obama, but he made her Secretary of State. So, you know, that covered her ego for a little while. You got to watch them now. You know what I'm saying? Them Clintons, we heard that they'll bump off a federal judge or two if you get them that mad. But listen, so, you know, that covered the ego for a little while. So guess what happened in 2016, 2015? Guess who running the party? Your guy, Miss Nancy. So in 2016, Miss Nancy, looking at her charts, you know, she always get Democrats elected, even though it's natural that the pendulum swings left and right. That predates her, but she taking all the credit for when the pendulum swings to the left and the Democrats get elected. I guess Hakeem Jeffries going to take the credit for what people not liking President Trump and going to vote blue. That's a whole nother different argument. So Miss Pelosi, she up there saying, you know, she didn't pray for old Hillary. So she got Hillary and Bernie running. And she's saying, I love Hillary to death. Now, I supported Hillary over Bernie, over Barack Obama. I supported Hillary. Understand that. I love her to death. She got Hillary going out there now. And Hillary doing a rally, she got about 500 to 1,000 people. That's a lot of people for a political rally in March. You know what I'm saying? It's Democratic primary. You ain't on the presidential. You know what I'm saying? Bernie Sanders going out there, he got 10, 15, 20,000 people. You could see the enthusiasm. If you got a candidate who got 20,000 people at their rally, them people going to show up and vote for them. More than that. That show you where the enthusiasm, that's a clear indicator. I'm talking about he could go anywhere in America and just people coming out. Bernie Sanders is independent. They're not smart enough to realize that. Nancy Pelosi isn't smart enough to see with Barack Obama that the people are looking for change, not just for Democrats, the ones in the middle who decide every election. Then they going to jump next time to the right. The pendulum swung your way, so now it's going to swing back the other way. To the right, they want to change still. They had Barack Obama. He was a black man. Is that a big enough change? I don't know. I want to change. So the Republicans give you Trump. That's a whole change. It's not the change in the direction we want to go, but they want to change. Jeb Bush was running. That would have been Nancy Pelosi's choice to pick for a Republican. They don't want no more Bushes. They want something different. We tired of the Bushes. We want to change. Mitt Romney, we don't want no Mitt Romney. We want to change. We want something different. That's what the independents want. She can't see it. The nation is moving to the center. And they tired of Republicans. They tired of Democrats. They want to change, okay? That's where they at. She should have seen it with Barack Obama. They voted for a black man. That's how much America was sick of y'all y'all Democrats and Republicans. Y'all think it's because, it's a Democrat. No, the center goes left and right. They voting for Obama. They voted for Trump. They voted for Obama. And then they voted for Trump. That's how the center's voting. That's how Michigan voting. That's the center. That's how Wisconsin voting. That's the center. That's how Pennsylvania voting. That's the center. Okay? Now, Georgia is really not the center. They're really like a soft pink, soft red, like middle, like a swing left. You know, they becoming the center, but they're not the center. Arizona's not the center. It's becoming the center, but it's not the center. Pennsylvania is the center. Michigan is dead center. And Wisconsin is dead center. The majority of Americans are dead center now. Nancy Pelosi should have seen it coming, should have seen they wanted change. The change for the Democrats was a short little white-haired mad scientist. The Cane, baby. Big Bernie, baby. That's my dog. I call him the Cane. He joined 10, 15, 20,000. Bernie Sanders out there, boy, he letting them have it. We gonna get them rich people. Bernie Sanders don't like no rich people. We coming to take all your money. The people. And I'm talking about people that are loving it. And in a poll, that white man beating Trump, the other white man, 2 change agents. Bernie Sanders is not Barack Obama. They both running for the Democratic Party, but he not Barack Obama. Instead, Nancy Pelosi, I'm praying. You want a woman, they want a woman, but instead of a woman, you giving them a Clinton. A Clinton is not a change. A Clinton is going right back to what we was in. People tired of the Clintons. They don't want no more Obamas, even though you have one more term. They want something different, somebody new. They gave Obama 8 years. We want something new. Bernie Sanders was the Democratic version of something new. He was naturally. That's what the party naturally produced. You grinding, you getting voters, you getting people to turn up for you. A Bernie Sanders, he done risen up. The people know him against Obama. You see what I'm saying? They tired of the Clintons. But you insert Hillary, though. You block Bernie and insert Hillary. And you create Donald Trump. He wouldn't have beat Bernie Sanders in the election. Ghost telling you what he know. He would not have beat Bernie Sanders. You blocking AOC and you get Chuck Schumer. And Chuck Schumer, I'm not hating on you, my dog. Do your thing, baby boy, as long as you can. I'm sure you're going to be a senator for New York as long as AOC don't decide to run. And I think she's going to run for president. So I think you're going to be safe. You blocking AOC from leadership. AOC go give a speech, bro, in California, 15, 20,000 people showing up. What's wrong with your mind? We not talking about out here in New York. We not talking about in the Bronx, homeboy. We talking about in Cali. We talking about in Portland, Oregon, that girl would get 25,000. A politician But y'all don't understand what that is. Ghosts know that. I was a promoter into music and stuff like that. I understand this stuff better than people understand it. I'm thinking about what level of rapper do I have to get to come out here to Portland, Oregon? She from New York now. And get 25,000 people out here on a Saturday to show up. What level of rapper? This girl is a politician, a congresswoman from the Bronx. She don't even represent the whole state of New York. She got one district in the Bronx, and she'll go across the country to California. Bro, you trying to block that? To put in a old white man who gonna get 200 people to show up if he went to the same event. 200 people, and they gonna be old white people. You won't expand the electric because you won't let it be natural. You won't let the person you think is outlandish. You don't know. That's what the voters, we want outlandish. You're going to end up getting Kanye West elected. That's what you're going to do. You're going to end up getting the Antichrist elected. That's what you're going to do. You let that be natural. Stop trying to king make and gatekeep. You're going to gatekeep Hitler into office. Y'all don't understand. Y'all can't see and think like that. That's why you get ghosts, because I could see and think stuff, see stuff you ain't going to be able to see. In every situation like that. I see a bigger picture than you. I think way more than you do. That overthinking is a curse, and it's a gift too. The Rain Man, the gift and the curse. God cursed me and blessed me at the same time. And my mind is overstimulated. That's why I got the disability and get worked up, because it's overstimulated. And I do take medication to understimulate, but still understimulate. I'm thinking about 10,000 things that you're not. And I'm not going to make that move. If I was in the Democratic Party at that time, oh, we want Hillary, I'm going to look at something and I'm going to see something in that corner you can't see. I'm going to say, nah, back out. Let it be. Let it play out. You know how we block Bernie? We're going to block Bernie with legislation. Just like they did with President Trump. The people wanted something different. They want Trump. Hey, it's the Constitution. Let Trump win. He won. So we just going to block him with legislation. That's how the Democrats, that's how you should have did Bernie. But you would have never had a President Trump. You would have had another 4 or 8 years of Democratic reign. If he giving away too much stuff, just block him. Don't try to stop somebody. If Jasmine is doing just whatever, don't try to stop it. Let it be natural, because you're going to lose the election. Them black voters that we was talking about, I talked about it on Jasmine for Texas number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's election time. And on Jasmine through Texas 1 through 6, I said, oh, there's 500,000 black voters, and all the numbers wrong. And I said this many, and the numbers wrong. And I'm talking about these black voters. You got to get to where I'm at now. These black voters, these black voters, these black voters. And guess what happened? Jasmine for Texas number 7, the voting is starting. Day 1. Tarrant County, Red County, Democrats, they out. What's going on? Okay, ain't nobody paying attention. Day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. That's Saturday. I'm talking about you at 300% still in Dallas County. These black people, they coming out from the woodworks. She out in Central Texas. She in West Texas. She in South Texas. Black voters, they coming out from the woodworks. From the woodworks. Oh, well, gosh, you got more white voters than you do black. Yeah, you do. Yeah. In the Democratic Party, you got more Hispanics and you got more white voters than you do black voters. But guess what? How many of them showing up to vote? 8 million Democrats. You're not getting 8 million people to vote in the primary, stupid. Y'all didn't know it was going to be 2 million. But guess what? It's 2 million registered black voters. Y'all not smart as me. Y'all want Ghost to put it together for you? You want Ghost to put it together for you. Let Ghost put it together for you. I'm cooking, boy. Who gonna run your election for you? You gonna hire Nancy Pelosi? She know better. Oh, she got 40 years of experience. She know better how to run a campaign. I'm gonna put the white boy up there. He's more relaxable. Oh, really? That's cool. Put the white boy up there. Jasmine, come here, girl. Let me talk to you real quick. Come here, baby girl. Let Ghost talk to you, Jasmine. Listen. Forget everything they talking about. These numbers are right. You got 3.7 million registered black voters in Texas. How many? I know you got more than 2 million registered black voters. You got 3.7 million registered black voters in Texas. If I would have asked y'all prior to the election, when I made my prediction on the 16th, how many voters were going to vote in the Democratic primary, ain't nobody said it'd be 1 million early voters. Nobody probably would have said that. I seen it coming. You see what I'm saying? Jasmine, this all you got to do. 2 million people will vote. That's the most that's going to vote. The most. What if they were all black voters? What if all 2 million people voted that were black? Jasmine, you will win 90 to 10, 85 to 15, right? Yes. So, Jasmine, this is what you got to do. Go look. Jasmine for Texas 6 and 7, the thin black line. What you think that live stream mean? Jasmine, all you got to do is get 2 million black voters to the, you could win the election with the black vote. You got enough black voters, Jasmine. It's over 500,000 black voters in Dallas and Houston alone. Just Dallas and Houston. You got enough black voters, Jasmine, to win that whole primary. Not the general. This ain't the general. This is a Democratic primary. Listen, there's enough Hispanics and there's enough white people due to who she is that's going to vote for her all the way anyway. So she's going to do good or fine with the white people and Hispanics. I don't care if she's getting 30% of them. So you get 500,000 blacks, white and Hispanics, and you get 1 million blacks to vote. You feel me? She got the pool of voters, of black voters. So her job is to get all 3.7 million or however many black voters it is more black voters, almost times 2, than people that will actually show up to vote. So all you got to do is the more black faces you see in that Democratic primary. You look at all of Texas in a general election and you say, oh, well, the black voters, there's 18 million registered voters. The black voters are what, a quarter less or so amount of the total voters in Texas? So they would make a difference, but they wouldn't determine an election, a regular statewide or presidential election. But in a Democratic primary, they will determine it because you got more black voters than you do people who will actually vote. So the challenge is Jasmine can win this primary purely off the black voters. Her name is good enough. You need somebody who got this right. Her name is good enough to where she's going to run well enough with the Hispanics and the whites, whether she go try to court them one time or not. But in this Democratic primary, where you're going to have 2 million or less voters, you have twice as many black voters as 2 million. So your goal is, if you get 1 million black people to win, I don't see how he wins. You get 1 million whites and Hispanics to vote, right? Which you probably will, as many or more black people. You get as many white and Hispanics to vote, and say he wins 65% of them and you win 35%. Okay? But on the black people, you got 1 million blacks voting and you win 85% of them. How does he win? You got enough black people to go vote to match what he's doing with Hispanics and whites. Yeah, there's more white and Hispanics together than blacks, but all them people ain't voting. That's what you don't realize. You only gonna get so many voters to vote in a Democratic primary. And more often than not, it's well under 2 million. So I'm saying that's why I did the numbers. 800,000 voters, Jasmine. Okay? You get 500, 600,000 blacks. You spend, I had those, if I was running a ground campaign, I would be canvassing in Houston and Dallas almost primarily. Yeah, do what she's doing and take her across the state. Let the black people in the communities across the state see her face. She going to Texas State. She need to go to Prairie View A&M too. Jasmine, I should have asked you on that thing. I should have told you all the colleges. You match his energy with new voters. I don't know if a lot of them register, but whoever on that campus registered, they need to be voting if they black. If she solidifies that black vote in this Democratic primary, she cannot lose the thin black line. That was the whole strategy. To solidify that black vote. And I think she did it. That's why those numbers in Dallas County, record numbers in Houston, where all the black people are is record number voting. I'm not saying he's not getting white and Hispanics, but I think his motion is primarily what a Democratic primary is. If it was Tellerico and Culinary, I bet you 1 million people wouldn't have voted yet, not even close. They're not as popular as her. Plus, he's spending that much money, plus all them black people voting. I knew that before the voting started. That's what I'm saying. Y'all got to understand what GOC is. Where you at on this thing? I knew that before the voting started. So I seen a perfect storm. That's why I'm saying at this point, they still would predict only 20 to 30% or whatever of the early vote is going to actually show up on voting day. That's less than 400,000 people. But I'm thinking it's probably going to be twice as many as 400,000 people show up. I'm thinking about 800,000 people going to show up on voting day. Maybe 1 million. You'll have record numbers. Jasmine running her commercials. The most money she spent on this campaign, on those commercials, and I said on Jasmine for Texas, I hope that they were listening, that she need to target those older black voters around the counties in Houston and Harris County. And she went to those black churches, like I said on Jasmine for Texas, episode 1 or 2. She went to them black churches and community leaders, and they solidified. And they went to their communities and they said, hey, the white man trying to get us, that's Ghost gonna win. That I would have told the preacher, she give up there and get the speeches, but behind closed doors, I got a crazy campaign dude who gonna come talk to y'all. His name Ghost Rider. He kind of cuckoo now, but he a fighter and he'll fight for us. And I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna say, hey, y'all, listen. What you need to go tell these people is the white man trying to get us. When Jasmine get elected, she gonna try to give everything to us. I don't care. Y'all say what y'all want to about me. I could care less. All I know is you got enough black voters. You got almost twice as many black voters as you do that's gonna vote in the primary. I was looking at the numbers. Normal year, you have like 1 million people to vote in the entire primary. 1.2 million, 1.4 million. The entire primary. Numbers kind of low. See what I'm saying? So I'm looking and I'm saying, man, Tellerico and these super PACs spending how many millions? That millions gonna make people turn out. Maybe not necessarily for you because she's so famous. You see what I'm saying? But them dollars, they're working for her too. His dollars working for her too. That's just what you up against. It's like you running an election against LeBron James and Michael Jordan. You running an election against Drake. You see what I'm saying? They don't know you. That's facts. They don't know you. 3 out of 10 Democratic voters don't even know your name. But I'm saying only 1 out of 10 or 1 point, so many don't know her name. He got twice as many people don't know him than know her. So I'm saying they know her, and you spending this money. So all that's doing is saying, oh, Jasmine got an election. He's spending the money on the campaign. You know, a lot of black voters are seeing that. That money he's spending on the campaign, a lot of black voters are seeing his campaign ads. A lot of Hispanic and white voters seeing them too. That love Jasmine, adore Jasmine. So they already know her. So whenever they see the ad, all they say is, oh, Jasmine got it. Oh, LeBron James. Oh, Drake finna. Oh, you just helping her. Some of that money he's spending is just helping her. That's what I'm saying. The strategy is to mobilize, to get those black voters, those people who never vote, the people who won't vote, get them to the polls. Get them to the polls. And you got twice as many potential black voters who's already registered. You got twice as many of them in the state, a pool to pull from, than you have that ever votes in the Democratic primary. I'm saying you might, I think, 3 million people might vote on the Republican and Democrat side together. I think it'd be more than 3 million. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying you don't have 3 million Democrats coming up to vote in the primary. That's not what's going on. So, I mean, you got more black voters than you have that'll go out and vote. It's about numbers. So from properly understanding the numbers, that's the key. From properly understanding the numbers, now I formulate a perfect strategy. The perfect strategy and what we need to do is mobilize the black vote. If we could get 1 million black voters to vote, there's no way that he could win. No way. Impossible. Because within Hispanics, that would mean that he would need to win 85% of Hispanics and white. He might not win 50% of Hispanics and white. But it's very possible that he'll beat her like 55 to 45 with Hispanics to white. Well, with black voters, she's winning by 85. She's going to win 85%. 80 to 90% of black voters. She's going to win it. Even his allies, and he'll tell you that, he'll concede that. So the goal is to make half of the voters in this Democratic primary black. That's the goal. And if you do that, she wins. Not that there's more black people than white people. Not saying there's more black people or black voters than white voters or more black voters than Hispanic voters. You just slow. You don't get the numbers. We're not saying none of that. This was going to happen because, you know what I'm saying, Ghost Rider done schemed on him, heard Jasmine her little pitch, what she was saying, and I done Stacey Abrams and them, and I done schemed on how you do it in Texas. This what they gonna hear on March the 4th. Oh man, we had a record number of black people to come vote. Oh, you don't say, idiot. That was the point. That's the goal. That's how she wins. We had a record number of black people to come vote. It looks like 33% of the vote was black. Oh, really? 33% of the vote black. It's a wrap. In my opinion. Because if she winning 90% of that, then he got to win probably about 70% or so of the other vote, which that number's too high. It's about numbers and averages. And as many people voting in Dallas County. Tarrant County, we was looking at that county because she's trying to flip that county blue. That's Republican county left in America. It's right next to Dallas County. So I'm saying the voting in that county is high. It's a lot of black people. But what I'm trying to say is Dallas County, her county, all the black people coming out to vote. That's all I'm saying. All she needs is a certain number of black voters out there, and it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And she got the numbers to pull from. She got the pool of register. She don't have to go register. Yeah, in the general election, she might be looking to get people who don't never go vote. But I'm saying you don't even have to do that, Jasmine. All you got to do is get the registered black voters to show up in larger numbers than Hispanics and whites. The white people, James, listen, they get white voters, white Democrats get white Democrats on the ballot all the time in Texas. So I listen to a lot of white Democrats in Texas, and they don't really think that the Democratic Party really have They say the Democrats are 2 or 3 election cycles out from flipping the state. That's what I hear white Democrats saying. I don't hear the black Democrats saying that. I hear the black Democrats saying, yes, we can. That's what I hear them say. So the white Democrats, they're not that enthusiastic or as enthusiastic about voting for James Tellerico. They get white Democrats all the time. If you look at the Hispanics, you know what I'm saying? They got Hispanic senator in Texas already. Hispanics, they got Hispanics on the ballot also. The Hispanics might not be that enthusiastic about voting for Tellerico. You got a white guy and a black girl. But not the black people. The black people, they don't never get no, hardly ever get no. Colin already, he was a black guy, but they look at him, he kind of mixed. I mean, Jasmine is a black girl, clearly. Not just the way she looks, she represents black. Colin ain't black like Jasmine's black. James Tellerico can't tell you this. Ghost will tell you that. Colin don't represent the causes like she do. It's not about her skin color. It's that she represents, she's polarized. She stands up and fights for the rights. Yeah. So yeah, that's a different kind. That's like Barack Obama on the ballot in Texas. That's what that is. And she got the black people thinking, yes, you can. All it's about numbers. If she get enough black voters to that poll, it's over with. And it's not like she got to do something special. All she got to do is get them to vote. Not register a voter, it's the steps in turning out of voters, but with her, those steps are not as hard or difficult, bro. I'm trying to tell you, because the black people in the Trump year, they're thirsty. And I'm saying she's black, so they're enthusiastic. You see what I'm saying? If you put all those factors in together, I'm saying, you guys, it's a perfect storm. When I say a perfect storm, I mean it's an absolute perfect storm for what's to come with Jasmine Crockett. Y'all, that's my time, man. I am a Christian, man. I love God. I have to tell y'all this every time at the end of the stream. Not to condemn someone or put someone down. Not to say I'm better than you because I'm no better than anyone else. I'm not using God as a weapon. I'm using God as a refuge. The Bible said that God said he's a refuge. He's a high tower. So you can run to him in the time of need. God is our creator. God wants a relationship with you. Okay, God created Adam, the first man. He told Adam he can do and have, just not to eat the tree. I know most of y'all heard the story. Man sinned. So because man sinned, that's like man committed a crime. Man's a criminal. It's a spiritual thing. Your soul, you sin against God. Everybody has sinned. We've all sinned and come short of the glory of God. So now we need forgiveness with God. That's the only way we can make it without going to that spiritual jail, which I call hell, is we need forgiveness with God for our sins. That's where Jesus Christ comes in. I am the way, the truth, and the life. The blood of Jesus washes away your sins and forgives your sins. Jesus took your place. So instead of going to that spiritual jail called hell, Jesus went there for you. All you need to do is pray and let God know that you believe that Jesus took your place. First, you got to ask for forgiveness. You got to let him know you believe it and you accept it. And you do that in prayer. And that is salvation, just like the thief on the cross. Once you have accepted him, then you're going to follow after Christ and perform good works and live the life that Christ lived as a Christian. That's what I believe. Christ is king. I wake up every day, and I'm not quoting this scripture, Miss Candace. I know she's not talking about me. She's talking about them people over there faking. They faking like they love God. You know what I'm saying? Look, or they're doing too much. I'm not over righteous or over spiritual. Listen, as a Christian, okay, like who diagnosed with depression and anxiety, what help me overcome that is God and the scriptures. I wake up every day and I say, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Guys, I will see y'all on Monday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. People make fun of me for saying this too, and I don't care. They could be whatever they want to be, but I'll tell you, I love you, and I do love you. And that same guy who talking that smack about me saying that I love people, I'll black his eye. I'll get that boy a black eye. And after I give him a black eye, because that's what he need, I'll tell him I love him, because that's what he need. Y'all, that's my time, and guess what? I love y'all. I see how people clowns, man. They straight clowns. I be laughing at these clowns. I see y'all 7 a.m. Eastern time on Monday, man. Y'all be blessed, man. And y'all take care and be safe. Have a great weekend.